In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Good morning, gentlemen. Let me rephrase that. You got two gentlemen. You got one ain't earned it yet, has he?
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's
What a shooting display from Steph Curry in a performance of the ages. The United States wins gold in both men and women's basketball in pretty dramatic fashion in both games. It was awesome to see them go up against France. Victor Wembanyama, of course, has been the big rookie sensation for the San Antonio Spurs, the former number one draft pick. Had a fantastic game of his own, but Steph Curry stole the show at the end. 4 threes in like a minute-plus span. It's one of the best, if not the greatest shooter in college and NBA history, and it was awesome. There were several down-to-the-wire moments as the Olympics have concluded. Tom Cruise rappelled down at the tail end, getting ready for the Los Angeles Olympics. I listened to Bob Costas, Al Michaels, and others talk about their excitement to see that come back home. I guess it's been since 1984.
84 is in
So,
L.A.
Yeah, and
Mary Lou Retton.
Mm-hmm.
And
then you had
Atlanta. Is that 96? You've had Salt Lake, and they're talking about Salt Lake maybe being a permanent home for winter, or an anchor home at least for the Winter Olympics. It's apparently just a tremendous setup. But yeah, I remember as a child the '84 Olympics, and Mary Lou Retton was kind of the star of the show that I remember in those Olympic Games. That's where we began. Hot Take Monday, brought to you by Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Grand Design, Brinkley, Forest River. They've got all the top brands. Plus, they give you a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
You know, it's nice to have Steph Curry on my team for once, because I've watched him torch the Oklahoma City Thunder for about a decade now, and it's been painful memory after painful memory, game winners, game clinchers. I mean, he has just stuck you heard Ian Eagle refer to a golden dagger in the heart of France. He's done that to Oklahoma City fans, other fans of NBA teams. So it's nice to, again, be able to cheer for a guy that has hurt me so many times. He was awesome. LeBron James was fantastic. He wins the MVP, even at, I guess, 39 years old, still showing that he's one of the best players in the history of the sport. It was just incredible, because international play has changed so much since the 1992 Dream Team, and how the United States won by an average like 30 or 40, whatever it was. But now the competition's steep. You got Nikola Jokic for Serbia. I just mentioned Wemby for France. I mean, these were games that the United States was down by, I think, 15 against Serbia, and this was the home team on their home soil that you had to beat, and it was awesome. I really enjoyed this basketball game.
I don't know if it was awesome. I mean, France never really menaced. I mean, they menaced but never threatened. Even at the end, they got it down to 5? What's this?
3 point. It was a 3-point game with a little over 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, I mean, but did you ever really feel the Americans were going to lose the game? I mean, at halftime, it was, 8? I watched all of the second half. It just never – they just kind of petered around. And then Curry, like you said, what was it, 4 3-point baskets in 2 minutes? I mean, just salted the thing away. The women's game, I thought, was far more exciting, and that comes down to a 3 versus 2. If I guess it goes to overtime if she's behind the line, or if she was clearly across the line, 2-point basket, and the walk-off winning shot didn't happen, or it would have sent it to overtime. But I don't know. Maybe it was just me. I thought it was a good game. It was entertaining. The thing I came away with is, 8 of the last 9 gold medals have been to the Americans. I don't think that's going – I just don't think, even if you field a all-star team of professional players, I don't think that's going to persist because of the things you were talking about. There's 63 NBA players, if I remember the comment right in the broadcast, throughout the various Olympic teams. France is going to be a threat to the Americans with Wemby moving forward.
Yeah,
I mean, I just don't know that the Americans can win it, the next 3 or 4 games in a row.
Yeah, because
that's a long time. I know that's a decade and a half, but they'll probably win in LA because that's home soil. But there's going to be bigger threats coming, and they're only going to get stronger over the next 4 years.
Yeah, and this is kind of the end of an era for some. I would not expect LeBron James at 40-some-odd years old to be competing in Los Angeles. Steph might. I think he's 37, if I remember, maybe 36. But you're kind of getting to the tail end of some of these guys' careers. France has now had back-to-back number one draft picks in the NBA, so they're like Wemby and then Sarr, some other young pieces that they're going to be. But it was – I will give you the women's game was more entertaining because of that 1-point win, and we'll play the conclusion of that coming up in a bit because it was pretty epic. But
wild, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was. I enjoyed parts of again the basketball stuff. There's other cool to see Katie Ledecky close out the closing ceremony. Hated that Jimmy Fallon basically just maligned the broadcast. I mean, that was just NBC was trying to shove him in. He was terrible down the stretch. Cruz repelling was cool. There were good, bad parts of the Olympics. I got irritated at some of the stuff I watched, but I guess the United States tied China for the most gold medals, and then they won like 126 overall. So the U.S. had a stellar performance just because they compete in so many other events than other countries.
Now, America's had more medals, but the gold was at 39 each.
I think it was 40 each.
40 each? Is
yeah,
that what it ended up?
I think it was 40 each.
Because you had the marathon still to go, the women's game still to go.
I believe that's correct.
And, they were going into Sunday, I think the Americans were one behind. So, but in total medal count, I mean, it really was first and second was semi-close with the American and the Chinese, but then beyond that, it was a distant gap for third. So, they're probably, to me, the Olympics did not become must-watch appointment TV very often over these 3 weeks. But I think the next Summer Games in 4 years, being in the world we live in where nothing's a secret anymore, it's hard to record stuff or watch it tape delay, which nearly everything in primetime was presented in tape delay. You already know the results because we have instantaneous information. It won't be that way in 4 years. So I think we'll be a lot more glued to the TV, if you will. And I think there'll be a lot of people we know that will get out to LA for some of the games because it's almost a once in a lifetime opportunity to see the Summer Games on your home soil. I know we had Atlanta 20 years ago, 20 years, 24 years prior, or no, 14 years prior to that. 84 was the LA game. So, there's not very many opportunities for a lot of people to go see the Olympics, the Summer Olympics, especially in your own country. And I think a lot of people will try to find a way to do that.
Yeah, if you could go to the World Cup in 26 at the Olympics, I'm assuming you're going to the Olympics.
Probably the Olympics, but a lot of soccer. I think the World Cup in soccer is probably the greatest international event.
Well, the reason I ask about, and I should clarify, in 26, I should say the Summer Olympics, which is in Milan. You got a choice to. I'm assuming you'd go to.
Well, hang on, say that again.
26 is in Milan, right? The winner's going to be 28 in LA, and 26 is in Milan, correct?
Well, the 26 will be the winner in. Well, they were 4 years apart, so the Summer Games.
Sorry.
Yeah, the Summer
Milan.
Games will be in 4 years in LA.
Sorry, switched it. Winners in Milan. I mean, in 26.
Well, Milan's pretty nice.
Yeah.
But no, I'd like to go to LA and see the Summer Games. Hey, we are 17 days from football?
17 days.
Hey, call the Hogs of War Memorial Stadium in Little Rock for Thursday night football. The Hogs open up the 24 season on the 29th at 6:30 against UAPB. Tailgating, family fun, a joint performance between the U of A and UAPB marching bands. That's going to be great. Football and a whole lot more await you for this historic in-state matchup. Tickets are on sale now for the 76th anniversary of Razorback football at War Memorial Stadium. Get your tickets right now this morning at ArkansasRazorbacks.com.
So there's a show coming back to Arkansas, a reboot of sorts. Some of you remember it 20 years ago. It's called The Simple Life. Features a couple, two women that we're going to talk about coming up on the Morning Rush.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Touchdown, Arkansas!
Do you want to see the Dallas Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas on November 10th? Can you eat a Monster Burger in 150 seconds to qualify for the football trip of a lifetime? It's the 19th annual football trip of a lifetime brought to you by Hardee's, ESPN Arkansas, and hitthatline.com. Go to hitthatline.com for more details and let's secure your seat at the table.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street at Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
Football, fantasy drafts, new school supplies. It's my favorite time of year. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Born and raised in the River Valley, I know how crazy traffic can get this time of year. As kids head back to class, remember to use caution at crosswalks and in school zones. But not all accidents can be avoided. If you or your loved one is injured in a car wreck, call today. 479-769-1505. No win, no fee. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
Work now, pay later with sizzling savings at WT Equipment. No money down, no interest, and no payments until 2025 on select New Holland equipment. Choose 0 for 60 or up to 10,000 cash back plus free net wrap on roll belt round balers. 0 for 72 or up to 10,000 cash back on mid-range tractors. Or 0 for 72 plus an additional 2,000 cash back on a new compact. Work smarter with no money down, no interest, and no payments on your choice of the summer's hottest deals. At WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
Breaks it to the outside. The 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Cedric.
What a left arm, stiff arm. And then the speed was amazing.
You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
A simple life. was a show that Nicole Richie and Paris Hilton starred back in the day. Season 1 actually took place in Arkansas, Altus, Ozark, kind of that area. And we're going to talk about that coming up a little bit because Paris, Nicole, were back here in the natural state. And I know that some people remember that show. Some people have to be refreshed. Kind of want to share that coming up in just a bit.
Another chance to qualifying for the football trip of a lifetime coming up this week. We are, we got a week and a half, I guess, or a little less than 2 weeks to make that happen. So if you'd like to get in on the fun and go see the Cowboys play the Eagles in November, you need to get by Hardee's and see us this week with another chance to qualify. We'll be out Tuesday and Thursday again this week. On Tuesday, we're going to be at the Rogers Avenue location in Fort Smith. And on Thursday, the Phoenix Avenue location. Come by and eat a Monster Burger in 150 seconds or less, and you can reserve your seat. We're down to just a handful of seats left. I mean, we're physically going to run out of room for the August 24th finals. Join us for the 19th annual football trip of a lifetime. Qualify this Tuesday and Thursday at Hardee's with ESPN Arkansas.
Do you remember this show, Tommy?
I do. Okay. It was a fairly big deal in the community in western Arkansas and that area. What's it been? Has it been 10 years? 12?
20.
20?
21, wow. 21 technically. The first season took place in 2003. And just the entertainment. So they posted pictures this weekend at Sonic, which is where they worked when they did the show 20 years ago at Arkansas. I think the Sonic was in Ozark, but they were at Alligator Rays on Thursday, which was pretty great. Again, Paris has been back to Arkansas since. She did something with Walmart, I believe, the last 2 years. But for those that don't remember a sound clip or two, they seem to have a good time. And again, the premise of the show is you've got these two ladies, glitz, glam, prima donnas, whatever, and divas. That's the best word. They have to leave their cell phones and credit cards back in L.A. or California, wherever they were, and they have to work, and they live with a family, and they had some entertainment like this when they were working at Sonic a little bit. Take a listen.
What do we have to spell? Because they have price burgers all day. What do we spell it, Scott? Boogers. How do you spell booger? Boogers. Girls, where are you going? Letter goes in the back. Oh. Before you put it up, let me look at this so make sure it's all straight.
So there were escapades, there were various things. It was an entertaining show for those that watched it and took it in, and apparently, Tom, it's getting a reboot all these years later.
I mean, because we don't come up with original new ideas anymore. We have to remake all the old ideas that semi-worked. But I'm sure for the people of Altus and Paris and those parts of Franklin and Logan County they've kind of hung out in, it's fun. I don't think a lot of people 21 years ago probably knew a lot about Paris Hilton or Nicole Richie down there. They got an education. She became a mega star. I remember she's in those Hardee's commercials years ago that were
yeah, bring those
scandalous.
back. Those would be better marketing than some of the things.
The fact that she can still do them 21 years later is
yes,
kudos to her. So. Hey girls, hey, if you're listening, we're just up the road. Just jump on Highway 22.
Can you imagine?
We'd like to have you right here in studio.
Can you imagine if they came in and did an interview with us? That would be quite.
Could you get a word out?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely, easily, no question about it. I think so.
That's probably right. They're out of your league anyway.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. So we'll have some fun. Chuck's going to join us about 10 minutes. We'll maybe get his thoughts on, again, a Simple Life reboot, which I know he was an avid watcher back in the day, if I had to guess.
Close to his old stomping ground.
Yes, it was. So I think that would be quite entertaining. All right, so we did do a show on Friday. They had their first scrimmage on Thursday here in Fayetteville. The media did not get a chance to watch, but Sam Pittman kind of shared some things after the game. To me, we'll get to the standouts in just a bit, but there was a number of injuries. Some are more severe than the others, But here's kind of the latest health situation with your football team on the Hill.
Pat Kuda's got a back, so we're resting it. We've rested it for a few days. We feel like we'll get him back. I'm not positive. It may be another week. It may be another week and a half, but we feel good that we're going to get him back. Joffrey Brown, we held him today. That was us. You know, he's had some knee surgeries and things, and we've been holding him some in practice as well, so that was a neat deal. Luke Brown is going to have a trim on his cartilage that he had worked on before, so that was 2 days ago. John Hill, Luke has, Anton Junekaj, and Marquise Robinson are out with concussions, and they've all been out at different times. So depending on when they get back, I think Anton was the first one, so I anticipate him being back this coming week. Marquise would be the next one, and then Luke's was just recent, and John Hill's was just recent. Rashad DeBinion didn't play today because of a knee swelling on his knee. Jaquinda Jackson has his mild ankle sprain. Tyrone Broden, we didn't play him today from turf toe. I imagine some of these guys will be back tomorrow, but we just held him today. Dylan has a back. He'll probably be back tomorrow as well. Jaheim Singletary's got a hamstring, and Vito's got a pulled growing muscle. Obviously, we know he's a kicker, so we held him.
That's a lot. But, again, some more severe.
How long was that soundbite?
Minute and 20 seconds.
And it was all injuries.
Yeah, all injuries. So notable ones, Patrick Kudas sounds
And he didn't labor the point with each one. He went through it and moved to the next, to the next, to the next. So that wasn't like that wasn't three guys.
Coach had a pen and was basically, it looked like he was just crossing off. It's like, all right, this guy played, this guy didn't. He was just going down the list of his depth chart or the roster that was in front of him. But that was a good number. Concussions, just never know on those how long they take. Some guys it's a week, other guys it's 2 or 3. I am curious to see, as we've talked about, 17 days out from UAPB, what the health standpoint of your roster looks like. You would like, the biggest thing in fall camp is just to stay healthy, with Arkansas's depth always being a concern. You just got to get healthy till that lead-up game, and unfortunately there's going to be injuries mid-season. The injury bug kind of bit Arkansas a little bit last year. You hope it doesn't bite the Razorbacks this season.
Yeah, and this team, and Clay has spoke to this, and I think it's a point worth repeating. This team is about 3 injuries away in key critical areas from. I mean, it could spiral, and I don't know if Clay put it in those exact words, but and I think that's true with not just Arkansas. There's a lot of teams that, hey, if the quarterback gets injured, a key defensive star, maybe a wide receiver or a running back, and I think Arkansas's got a few of these spots. We saw what Luke Haas's injury last year did to the offense, and how it limited the dimensions you could have. Arkansas just doesn't have enough depth in a lot of places that 2 or 3 injuries, and this kind of scares you a little bit, could derail some of your plans and maybe some of your expectations this year. All right, Chuck will jump into the conversation. That's all coming up. Brought to you by Wheels RV on a Hot Take Monday, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands, the best prices, a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell at Wheels RV. Stop in and see Lee J and Chris and the entire crew. It's Hot Take Monday, brought to you by Wheels RV.
All right, when we return, like Tommy said, Chuck's going to join us. We've got some more Arkansas football to get into. Dallas Cowboys. I know Jerry Jones has been in the headlines the last few days, so we'll touch on that. He clarified something. Kyle Yeomans is going to join us also at 8 o'clock, DallasCowboys.com, who actually just chatted with Jerry Jones, and I guess Oxnard, California yesterday. So all that's coming up. Stay with us. Hot Take Monday of the Morning Rush.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Phil.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is the Morning Rush.
Great to be on here with you guys. I think you guys do awesome work, and I really enjoy listening to you.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. It's August, it's hot, and it's time to flip the lot. So we're giving you the best we've got. Save up to $6,000 on red tag clearance prices on a fantastic selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. Plus up to $2,000 extra for your trade and no payments for 90 days. They've all got to go, right down to the bare asphalt. Get a great deal on a great car now and help us flip the lot. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
Hey, wait. Billy, K is for horses. Are my ears that long?
Oh, you got me again. I'm going to order a large Boss Hog pizza for fishing tomorrow.
That's a lot of food. You taking a friend?
No, sir. I'm going to use it as bait.
Pizza as bait for fishing?
Yes'm. The catfish love them, some Jim's Razorback pizza.
They do?
Yes'm. They chase the bacon faster than green grass through a goose.
Bacon? Never would have thunk it.
Yup. And they come right to the river's edge when I call them, too. Woo! Fish suey!
Oh, blessed Billy. All right, son. Have fun fishing.
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Blessed to serve you. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
It's summer clearance sale time at Julco Outdoors. Save 25% off summer casual and fishing clothing by Ariat, Rig, Hook, Wrangler, and Under Armour. Old Town kayaks and canoes, marked to cost. Save hundreds of dollars on the Old Town while they last. Archers, get ready for early bow season. Don't miss the summer clearance sale at Julco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Hey, this is Dr. Charlie Liggett with River Valley Smile Center. We dial 782-8940.
Coach Todd Holland, head baseball coach of the University of Arkansas Fort Smith Lions. I call 782-8940.
Stay cool this summer with a York high-efficiency HVAC unit. Or for more information on endless hot water and high-efficiency tankless water heaters, give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
See, Ty, if you will make one of your bro friends' wives sleep on the couch or on an air mattress one weekend while you sleep in the master suite, you'll never have to deal with this again. I mean, you'll never have to be the planner. You'll never have to deal with this again. You're letting them take advantage of you. That's my point.
And we welcome you back into the morning rush here on a Hot Take Monday. Steph Curry was scalding hot from the three-point line, not just against France, but also against Serbia, really the entire tournament. He was fantastic. Didn't win the MVP, though. That went to LeBron James. We'll talk about that. We got some Hog football stuff. Plus, I know Chuck was a big Simple Life fan 20-plus years ago. Season 1 reboot sounds like happening in Arkansas. We'll talk about that coming up as well.
Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Grand Design, Forest River, Brinkley, and many more models there, all with lifetime warranties when you buy your brand new RV from Wheels RV. Again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV. Good morning, Chuck. I don't think I've ever seen a superstar take over a championship moment. Now, I'll consider the Olympic gold medal game a championship moment. I've never seen someone take over the game at the end the way Curry did on, Saturday.
You know, the thing that I noticed, or at least I thought I saw there at the end, were a group of NBA veterans who were a lot more accustomed to playing in those situations than maybe the guys they were going up against. And you talked about it there with Curry. I mean, we've seen him do this time and time again in the most clutch situations in the NBA. And I'm not saying that the Olympics are a walk in the park. They're not. But I just thought that down the stretch, and I really thought this in the Serbia game, that even though they had Jokic and Bogdanovic and some really good players, I just thought that the playoff experience, the championship experience of all the U.S. players showed down the stretch in both those games.
And one of the guys that just won the NBA championship, Jason Tatum, didn't even play.
Yeah,
that's like what's wild to me is, okay, the United States, Tommy said earlier, wins 8 of 9 gold, but one of the biggest stories is the fact that Kerr didn't really play Tatum at all. And I just think the end goal, like the end justifies the means. Who cares? Like, you just won another gold medal. He didn't seem to think it was that big of a deal. Now, I don't know if he feels differently privately or not, but they did what it took to win. And now people are, especially Boston media, especially, are going berserk that an NBA champion and the guy that helped get Boston another ring didn't seem to really contribute that much to this team.
Well, that's because they're more concerned about their glory than the glory of the team. I mean, that's it's just the truth.
Classic
I
Boston.
mean, they're well. I mean, fan bases are this way. I mean, if we had a guy on the Olympics and he didn't play, we'd be mad about it too. That's just kind of how it works. But I thought it was a great performance. You had the NBA's biggest stars.
Mm-hmm.
And our sport was on the world stage. And the fact that, and I thought about this during the Olympics, the fact that these games are competitive. Now, the U.S. has an advantage, and the U.S. should win the vast majority of them. But you look at how the game has grown over the last 40, 50 years. And, David Stern's the one that really kicked it into overdrive for the NBA. It is a global sport. Might be our undoing at some point, but so far it hasn't been.
And that's by getting out, the next summer games are 4 years out, and who knows what the roster will look like. I don't imagine LeBron's on it, but the growing number of NBA stars, not just players, but stars on other teams around the globe. I think this run, 8 of the last 9 gold medals have went to the Americans. I think that run's going to be coming to a close. Maybe not on American soil. It's a long time before this happens, but you can see the world has caught up.
Well, I'm not sure they've caught up. They've gotten closer.
Okay,
the U.S. has won 8 of 9 golds, and it's not like they were really they were in a dogfight against Serbia, but they were in control throughout against France. So, yes, it's, the gap's not as wide as it once was, but I don't see the U.S.'s basketball dominance going away.
Well, honestly, the like the game between the United States and France was entertaining for me because you just had you had all the U.S. players you knew. There's some younger guys, but the conclusion of the women's game might have been even better.
No timeouts here. Johannes up ahead. It's Williams. That was a 2. Baked it in. A 2-ball. And the United States is going to claim gold for the 8th consecutive Olympics. What a finish. Williams with her foot on the line.
For those that don't know, if she had actually taken a 3-pointer, that game would have been tied, gone to overtime most likely, and instead steps her foot on the line. The United States clinches it out, and the emotional scene with Brittany Griner crying at the when awarded the gold medal. There was a lot that happened in that time, but that was the better game that you kind of said earlier.
The player from France just overran her spot.
Yep.
It wasn't even close, Chuck. I'm sure you saw it too. I mean, she had one complete foot over the line, and
that was a very competitive game.
Yeah, I mean, it banks in, and in the end, I mean that's a sick moment for the French, but a glorious moment for the Americans.
I mean, to imagine if you're as a I don't know if you call it Frenchman or whatever, if you're there and you're from France and you take in both those games. As a big time basketball fan, there's a lot to like. You've got 2 of the last number 1 draft picks in Sarr and Wemby. I mean, there's French basketball is at its peak right now, and it's only going to get better. But man, those were just Curry took your soul, and then the end of that game was tough too.
Who were some of the other great French players before those two?
Oh, I can't name one.
Tony Parker.
Tony
Parker was the first one.
He was
not the first one, but he was the first star.
And he, to your point, Chuck, he has been a big architect of why French basketball has really taken off these last few years.
He is Mr. Basketball in France.
No
has
question.
Been for quite some time. You're exactly right. And he's a big part of this.
I thought he was Mr. Eva Longoria.
Yes, that would be. I don't know. Are they still married?
Well, he was for a while.
He was for a while. Those were the glory days, truly.
Are they
Back
still
in the salad days?
Yeah. Are they still married or no?
What was that show she was on?
Desperate Housewives.
Desperate Housewives. You talk about appointment TV now. There was
Guilty
appointment
pleasure
TV
right there. That was the middle-aged man's guilty pleasure. On
Damn right it was. Sunday night appointment viewing.
The fact that y'all know what night it was played on.
Hey, I watched it. I'm not going to lie to you. I watched
by the way.
it. You had like 4 beautiful women, and they led scandalous lives.
Yeah.
I mean, what more could you ask for on a Sunday night?
We were looking for a house in that neighborhood.
We need to stop talking about this. In retrospect, it's not quite so cool.
Yeah. Well, speaking of entertainment television and drama of sorts and hot women, Nicole Richie and Paris Hilton back in Arkansas. Chuck, I know you've probably heard this. So that is the theme to A Simple Life, which 20 plus years ago, season 1 took place in Arkansas. The ladies were at Alligator Race, Altus, Ozark, kind of that area. I had to be reminded about this because I was young when all this took place, but I would guess that there's people that have come into contact. You were advocating for them to come on the show, all for that, 100%. If they would love
Just
to
show up here in the studio.
join the Morning Rush on ESPN Arkansas, the fact that Paris Hilton looks like she does, I don't know how old she is now, but she is still so hot.
21 years older than she was then.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chuck, what do you remember about that show, and will you watch the reboot?
No, and I didn't watch it then, and I won't watch the reboot now because I'm not their target demo. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But I remember the phenomenon very well. That's kind of my old stomping grounds, if you want to know the truth. So I've been in a lot of those places they've been, and
you been to Alligator Race?
Oh yeah, multiple times. And I would imagine that. In fact, I know that a lot of people down there. I mean, they were, from what I understand, they were a lot of fun to be around, and people, the locals genuinely interacted with them, and they had a lot of fun. So they're older and trying to do it again.
Yeah. They must be out of money.
Yeah. Quentin in Clarksville was there a couple days ago, and he just shot us a picture of them. So I would guess, again, we might get some pictures, some text.
They've been back around lately. They've been back around.
Because Paris came to the Walmart, what's the shareholders meeting last 2 years, I believe. And so she had been back to Arkansas, I think promoting some product or brand, but this is a different setup, of course, trying to get this thing off the ground again.
Well, all I know is every time I channel surf through all the channels, there's a lot of crazy stuff out there on television. So they'll, there's obviously a market.
Yeah.
There's going to be some people watching it.
Yeah. I don't remember anything about that first series as far as the storylines or the plots, but I do remember the local buzz about them being here. And, it
was huge.
It was season one.
Well, when we're Arkansans, so when someone's shines a spotlight on us, we really
they were mega stars at that time too.
Yeah, and at that time they were really big.
Yeah, they're in the twilight now of their careers, but they were mega stars at that point.
I think they live with the Leadings family, if I remember that correctly, and there
were lots of stories that emerged locally about things that were going on, and I'm sure a lot of them were embellished, and I'm sure a lot of them were true. So, that's just kind of how it goes.
We'll see. Again, it's set to, I guess, premiere on Peacock. It was on a couple different television stations 20-plus years ago, and they did it in different places. I think, of course, I mentioned Arkansas. I think Duarte, California was another destination. I think it was 4 or 5 seasons, if I remember that. But they are trying to reboot
I just thought it was one, and the whole thing was in Arkansas.
I didn't know there was that many.
I didn't either.
It ran from 2003 to 2007, so maybe some of you great Morning Rush listeners will be graced with the presence of Paris Hildner and Nicole Ritchie if you're passing through those areas in the coming weeks and months. Never know who you can run into at Arkansas, and those could be two ladies that you end up running into at some point.
Well, and I have noticed as of late a lot more pictures on social media of selfies with them at Walmart or selfies with them at just local places in Franklin, Logan County, that area.
Like it is when you go to Walmart, Ty.
That's probably
stopped on every aisle.
That's probably a good comparison. So we'll keep you updated on the Simple Life reboot here on the Morning Rush, and I would guess that Rusket, Zach, and Halftime is going to have some fun with this story too.
And early Morning Rush daily question: Who bleaches their hair blonde more? Paris Hilton or Ty Richardson? That would be our early morning
all
question.
Natural, baby.
The run on peroxide. There's a sudden run on peroxide.
Oh, man. So, again, we'll keep you updated on that. Also, speaking of notable people, what's going on in Oxnard, California is the Dallas Cowboys have their training camp underway. Jerry Jones, often in the headlines, was asked a question about Sedarius Lamb, CD. And this is what there is a clarification that he makes later on. But this is what he initially said about the ongoing negotiations between Dallas and their star wide receiver.
Do you think there's a sense of urgency as you begin the preseason to get CD done? No. Why you say that?
I went to high school or I went to college. I don't know why I said it, but I'm just saying I don't know. I don't have a sense of urgency about getting it done.
It's a long-standing tradition.
Any reason you want. I said no boo 2 days ago. Give that as a reason.
Yes, we will.
Put out there.
Now, we live in a social media world. That clip, of course, made its way to social media, and CD commented just LOL, which I thought was kind of funny. So, again,
what was Jerry saying there?
He's just like, I don't have any urgency.
What was he saying?
It's like, I went to
He
college.
was saying, I'm the boss, and I'll get to it when I want to get to it.
Yeah,
So
That's what Jerry was saying.
And I don't know if this will go into the season like it did. Chuck, you've referenced the Emmitt Smith stuff from years ago. Don't know if it's going to get to that. But he's since clarified this. We're going to have Kyle Yeomans join us at 8 o'clock, who actually was talking with Mr. Jones yesterday. And this is what he said, because he felt like that, I don't know if taken out of context is the right word, but he wanted to clarify with what's going on with this.
I think I got in trouble the other day when I said, look, we're not urgent about CD. Well, no one appreciates CD being on the field any more than I do. But let me say this, he wouldn't be taking a snap out here today if he'd been here for, you've got to use your head when you expose key players. That gives the other younger players a chance to do it. We know exactly what CD can do, and he's worked out with Dak. And so we wouldn't have him out here. It has really not anything to do with his contract. Dak won't be out here this afternoon. And so the bottom line is, no, there's not that urgency. Now, I understand completely the angst that's happening when you are anxious about and someone says anything about whether you're missed or not. Well, PD, you're missed, okay? But you're not missed out here competing, and it doesn't put any pressure any place on us. It's not pressure out here today and in practice.
Chuck, I don't know how you feel, but I think he's the biggest of the three. If you want to say him, Micah Parsons, and Dak, I think he's the biggest priority. Parsons is second, and Dak's third, and it is a distant third after that. You're the Cow. You and Big C are more the Cowboys guy.
It's hard to rank the importance. I mean, it really is. I mean, I think Micah Parsons is the best player in that group, but I don't know that you can say you must sign him even at the expense of CD or Dak.
Mm-hmm.
See, here's the thing.
You need them all.
Here's the thing. We get, as media people, sometimes we focus on stupid stuff. The question, go back and listen to the question, do you have a sense of urgency? Not, do you think the fans have a sense of urgency? Do you think Cowboy Nation has a sense of urgency? Do you think that you owe the fans an explanation because of their sense of urgency? No, the question was, do you have a sense of urgency? Well, as he said, we're going into a preseason game. He's not going to play in anyway. We got, we still got 3 weeks or so, 4 weeks before the regular season opens. He knows it's going to get done. Jerry knows it's going to get done. The reporter asked him, do you have a sense of urgency? Well, no, Jerry doesn't. Do the fans? Well, yeah, because that's what fans do. But for that to be a story and for Jerry to feel like he has to clarify that, it just kind of shows you what it's like in Cowboys camp. It's a circus, and every little thing gets magnified. Hey, let me pause just for a second and talk to you about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you're buying or selling a home, that's really the only name you need to remember. They've been around here a long time. They've been closing deals and getting people into their homes and selling houses for 30 years. And one thing I know about Weichert is they train their real estate agents better than anybody else. So when you partner with Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, you're going to get someone who understands the market, understands your situation, listens to you when you explain to them what you need, whichever side of the table you're on. And then ultimately they get you from contract to close. Now, they're in Northwest Arkansas. They've got offices in Washington and Benton County, Fort Smith, Branson, and you can always log on to WeicherGriffin.com.
Chuck, we got a text earlier in the program. Smack Daddy says, make sure you let Christian know that his stupid Cowboys cost him $30. He bet he had a $1 bet on them winning and an under of 18.5. And apparently that last second Stetson Bennett touchdown cost him that money. I have not.
You see the play?
Well, I saw the play. I got to be honest. I have not watched a lot of preseason just yet, outside of a little bit of the Hall of Fame game, but. Did not take in the game other than that one play.
Were you watching?
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I didn't see it.
I was going to ask.
I know the Cowboys kicked 4 field goals and Stetson Bennett threw 4 interceptions before he threw that pass, and it doesn't sound like it was a thriller.
I was just going to ask if y'all thought it was holding on the number 61 for LA, because it was a close no call there. I mean, it's the NFL, but the guy was moving in on the quarterback and it kind of got jerked to him, and there was no flag. And it's a 50-50 deal, but you could have easily.
Is McCarthy going nuts on the sideline?
They didn't show him going nuts. I mean, it's a preseason game.
Referees got to get warmed up too.
Yeah, I'm not saying it absolutely was. I just wondered what y'all's opinion was.
I missed that one. I got to admit.
All right, text of you. I'm sure we got some Cowboy fans that do think that this morning.
JT in Hot Springs says, in all honesty, CD and Micah are high priority. He's saying trade Dak for a competent quarterback. Yeah, I think that Jerry.
It's not like there's a whole bunch of great quarterbacks out there on the open market. Mm-hmm. Sometimes be careful what you wish for. Unfortunately, if the Cowboys dump Dak, they're probably going to have to make a trade, draft, develop a young, budding superstar.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying. And for people who say that, well, it's time for that guy to move on, I remember the Quincy Carter era. I remember the era when the Cowboys could not find an answer after Troy Aikman retired. So, yes, Dak's got his deficiencies, and I get as mad at him as any other Cowboys fan, I'll admit. But, again, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, and speaking of quarterbacks, we're going to have a unique conversation coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. Coach Michael Odell, who was Talon Green's high school coach. Listen to this, guys. The Louisville Fighting Farmers. That's their mascot name. He's going to join us coming up at 7. Can give a background of Talon a little bit. I know a lot of people have been asking questions about Arkansas starting quarterback, and it's not just his leadership, but what he brings to the table. So we're going to get an in-depth perspective from them. Chuck, we were talking a little bit earlier. Fall camp obviously underway. They had their first scrimmage on Thursday. Banged up a little bit. A couple guys with concussions, including Anton Junkaj and Luke Haz. But it really seems to be the offensive line that's dealing with the most issues, specifically Patrick Kudas, who has a back thing. Don't know his timeline just yet, but Eric Mateos has had to kind of make shift a little bit and move some guys around to get ready for this upcoming game. Don't know what Kudas' timeline is on coming back, but that seems to be something they're working at right now.
Well, this is typical. I mean, this is typical of preseason camp. You're going to have guys go down, and you're probably going to have lengthy injury lists. But here's the thing you also have to remember, that a player might not practice, but if it was a game, he'd be out there because you take precautionary measures during the week. But, here's also the thing, too, is I mean, we're not the game week yet. We're getting closer. And if sometimes, I'm not saying it's always this way, but sometimes, like take, for example, the offensive line. If you've got a guy or two they're not going to miss games, but they're going to miss 3 or 4 days, maybe 5 during camp. That's when you begin to cross-train. That's when you may look back in week 7 when somebody goes down and you've got to replace him with a player. It might not be his best position on the offensive line, but because of what happened back in camp, he had to cross-train, play that spot some. And I'm not saying it happens that way every time, but maybe somewhere down the line you benefit from having to mix and match a little bit going through preseason.
Yeah, and they've kind of had to, like I said, do that a little bit. Here's Talon Green, who we're going to talk about with Coach coming up in just a bit, what he said about the offensive line, kind of switching.
Extremely proud of the guys, because we're switching, center, guard, tackle. I mean, it's a lot on them, but, they're doing a really good job. So I'm extremely proud of them for that.
And it's not just the offensive line that has to communicate, but it's also, again, quarterback kind of would differ, whether it's Amari Wiggins or Nichols. They just that change at the center position. Sometimes the slightest thing will throw you off a little bit. So hopefully they'll get that solidified for this upcoming season. A lot of those interviews, again, I say a lot, all those interviews are on hitthatline.com. Coach Pittman had a lengthy press conference of about 30 minutes following the scrimmage on Thursday if you want to go listen to that. Some of the guys that stood out in the scrimmage, he kind of updated that as well.
I thought Satagna, he made some big plays out there. I thought he made some big plays out there. As soon as you ask me the question, I'll tell you who didn't play today. But Gums made some plays. Braden Russell's a load. Rodney Hill, I'm really proud of him.
A lot of running backs to talk about. We got a chance to hear from Rodney Hill, and an interesting story about him that we'll talk about in the second hour, too.
Hey, if you've had a plumbing problem over the weekend, call our friends at West Ark Plumbing and Expert Drain Services. They can be on their way today to help you with a water, sewer, gas, or grease line. If you've had problems with a hot water tank, they can help you there as well. They've been doing it since 1993 and can handle all of your plumbing needs. Put this number in your phone for the next time you have a plumbing emergency. West Ark Plumbing and Expert Drain Services. 479-646-5151. 646-5151 for West Ark Plumbing and Expert Drain Services.
All right, like I said, the head coach of Louisville High School, the Fighting Farmers, Coach Michael Odell, who coached Talon Green in high school, is going to join us when we begin the second hour, give an in-depth perspective on your starting quarterback this fall, next on the Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Beat the summer heat with a cool cash payout. The new $350,000 cash payout scratch-off ticket from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery is on sale now. And it's loaded with over $12 million in prizes of $100 or more. That means big wins happen more often, and you could be next. Try the new $350,000 cash payout ticket today. Play, scratch, and win. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Work now, pay later with sizzling savings at WT Equipment. No money down, no interest, and no payments until 2025 on select New Holland equipment. Choose 0 for 60 or up to 10,000 cash back plus free net wrap on roll belt round balers. 0 for 72 or up to 10,000 cash back on mid-range tractors. Or 0 for 72 plus an additional 2,000 cash back on a new compact. Work smarter with no money down, no interest, and no payments on your choice of the summer's hottest deals. At WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
This is the Morning Rush.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal Price Check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. You've got beer and football, nothing is hard. Until the other team scores. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Summer is here and adventure is calling. Visit Southern Tire Mart for a new set of Yokohama tires to get your vehicle ready for summer travels. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let Southern Tire Mart ensure your vehicle is ready for the open road. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird Real Estate Group has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at limbirdteam.com. LIMBIRD.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, occasional showers, a few thunderstorms, especially across the north, and we could see some heavier rain, especially early today. Otherwise, partly to mostly sunny sky, a high mid-80s north, low 90s south. Clearing out the side tonight, an overnight low near 70, and then a chance of isolated showers and storms Tuesday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard. Your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits.
The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 17 days.
This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
Back to Curry. Dancing on Batum. Over the double team. Oh! It's a golden dagger. Curry unconscious in the fourth. 8 threes for Curry. He has sent the French crowd into a frenzy they will never forget.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Good morning, gentlemen. Let me rephrase that. You got 2 gentlemen. You got one ain't earned it yet, has he?
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's
High school football coming up here in the Natural State. You've got scrimmages, you've got week 0 games, and other things to look forward to this fall. Rivalries, I know, are often anticipated across the state. Big-time ones, some smaller schools that go out of that are right next to each other. We'll get into some of that as we continue on here in the coming weeks on the Morning Rush, and we are going to talk some high school football coming up, kind of going back to the origins of Talon Green a little bit with Louisville head football coach, Coach Michael Odell, who coached Talon in high school. We'll get his thoughts on Arkansas' starting quarterback coming up in the start of the second hour.
It is a back-to-school Monday for many in Northwest Arkansas and across the state. Others will go next week, but we are in the season of back-to-school here on a Hot Take Monday, brought to you by Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Award-winning service. That's one of the reasons they've been voted best RV dealer year after year. Parts and service department that can help you through any issue. And with a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell, you can camp with confidence with Wheels RV. Again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
So, coaches, we welcome you in. Has Louisville started high school back up yet, or when do you guys start?
We start actually going to school tomorrow. We've got practices and meetings all through today, so it's go time for sure.
Heck yeah. Coach, do you still have that Talon Green bobblehead in your office? I know you shared that with him earlier this fall. You still got that there?
Absolutely. Staring at it right now.
That's awesome. Well, Coach, give us kind of a backstory. I know Talon, if I remember correctly, transferred from Allen to your high school. You coached him for 2 years, if I remember right. What can you tell us about what he was when he first arrived on your campus, and then what he's kind of transformed into as Arkansas starting quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, since the day you met Talon, you just saw just a guy that walked his walk and talked his talk. It just a wonderful human being that was just an infectious leader and just made people around him better. Not only on the football field, but in the classroom and, outside of that locker room. He just was an amazing kid to be around, and just watching him grow as a young man was pretty spectacular. Watching just that, and how he treated people, how he dealt with adversity, how he dealt with success, and just a natural born leader. But that was easy to see as soon as he got here, just to see how his teammates reacted and followed him.
Yeah, let's go a little bit deeper there, because I think in the world of the transfer portal, Coach, it's harder to have leaders emerge. And talk about some specifics with his leadership, because when you have a roster that close to half turns over each and every season, I think voices in the locker room may be harder to emerge. What about his leadership skills do you think give him an edge to be the quarterback and to have the ear of his teammates?
Yeah, I mean, you lead in a lot of different ways. It's not always the things you say, but it's the things you do. It's how you do it. And obviously, being the quarterback position, you have to have a voice. I mean, you're constantly the voice on the field, not only with the leadership, but with just command. I mean, you have to command a huddle. You have to command an offense. So, but he showed up every day. He went to work. He wasn't afraid to be here early and dive into the film room and the study, and he wasn't afraid to stay late and throw to receivers and build that timing. And then again, the way he carried himself in the building with taking care of his academics and just the person he was. I mean, people naturally gravitated towards him, and he, he came in and won the job. He came in and earned his respect, and nothing was given to him. And he came in and just didn't bat an eye and took control of our team and really planted his roots in our community as well. I mean, I know Louisville just loves Taylor.
And think about Taylor, he's not just a great football player, Coach. He, I think, holds the record of Louisville long jump, played a little basketball too. It wasn't just what he did on the gridiron, was it? Not at all.
We watched him run, a 50-second, if not 49. I don't know what the split was, but he ran a quarter at a track meet that was just uber impressive, and yeah, he could. He wanted to compete. He competed in track, and I know his family, his sister plays some high-level basketball, so basketball was in his blood. But, the quarterback position is what made him tick, and he wanted to put his eggs in that basket and really develop his skill set and then develop the mental side of it as well. And that's what he's done. I can remember him coming back from Boise that spring year when he graduated early, and he came back with this huge playbook, and he just wanted to sit down and go through it and talk protections and adjustments and things that were just really, really advanced, and he was just into learning every intricacy of that offense.
We're talking with Louisville head football coach Michael Odell, who coached Taylor Green in high school. Coach, you referenced earlier the adjustment of him coming over from Allen. How much did maybe that transition could that help him with leaving Boise, Idaho, and playing in Fayetteville, Arkansas? Do you see some similarities, and could that help him have success here in Fayetteville?
Yeah, I mean, when you're a 14, 15-year-old young man and you're moving, for the reasons that he moved, and then when you're in college and you're laying your roots down and this year of the NIL and all these things, and you're the quarterback of a university, and then things change dramatically, and you get picked up and you go to a campus like the University of Arkansas with a storied tradition and just an unbelievable place and opportunity. It's different, but but just the way he can just adjust to change, the way that he can handle adversity, the way that he doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low, has tremendous faith in God, and just I think that sets him up for success. We define success a lot when he was here and what that looks like, and it's the work you put in, it's the faith you have, it's the way you treat people, and it's that when you get knocked down, you get back up and you get better with everything that you go through. So he's been through it, he's done it. I guess there's some similarities, but I mean, today's college landscape is like nothing I've seen. So I'm sure everyone is adjusting on the fly.
You mentioned the storied tradition of Arkansas football. Coach, it hadn't been the same in the last decade that maybe it once was. You're a high school football coach in Texas. You talk with other coaches. What is the perception of Arkansas football when you have kids interested in Fayetteville and Coach Pittman's program?
Yeah, I mean, it's down. And, of course, we're surrounded by, powers. We're surrounded, with Texas to our south and Oklahoma to our north. A&M's around the corner. And, we got SMU and TCU in our backyard, and UNT's up the road, and Texas Tech is out west. So we're surrounded with just names and names and names. But Arkansas is unique. I mean, it definitely rings a bell. I know Fayetteville's a beautiful place. So I think once kids actually go and see it, it changes their perspective of what they might have thought it was. But it definitely gets folks' attention. There's no doubt. But it is, you do have to pass quite a bit of schools coming from the Metroplex to go there.
Mm-hmm. Coach, last thing before we let you go, Talon was pretty emphatic about Bobby Petrino being his first scholarship offer and how much that meant to him at SEC Media Days. I wonder if you could take us back to when he initially got that call or text, and maybe you could just talk about that relationship that's still seemingly very strong today.
Yeah, I mean, Petrino showed interest in Talon, back when, Talon was a young guy and guys were coming in, and, the first thing they see is a beautiful athlete and, different people recruiting, and they're like, oh, well, can you play defense? Oh, can you play tight end? Can you play receiver? Everybody just wanted to pull at him because of his athleticism, and Petrino, saw the talent in the quarterback position and the skill set, and it was a no-brainer for him, and they built that relationship, and I know that was very dear to Talon because that's who he is. He's a quarterback. He wants to he wants to have the ball in his hands. He wants to lead people. He wants to do all the things, and Coach Petrino gave him that opportunity early, and that's another reason we talk about all the time, and we talk with Talon, is building relationships, and that's what it's about, is doing right by people and respecting people and building your network, and that's what he did, and it led him to Arkansas.
Coach, we'll leave it there. Coach Michael Odell, head coach of the Louisville Fighting Farmers, Talon Green's old high school football coach. Coach, we appreciate you joining us this morning. Good luck to your team this season.
Man, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Good backstory on Talon Green and some insight from him.
A little more insight. I guess if you're listening there at the tail end, the one thing he said that, I guess gives you a little pause as a Razorback fan is you got to drive by a lot of schools to get to Fayetteville when you're in that Metroplex. And he mentioned the powers to the north and the south and around the corners, he said, to A&M and out west to Texas Tech. And Chuck just gives you a perspective from Texas, from that northeast Texas corner of the challenges that Arkansas faces recruiting there.
When Arkansas's been good over the years, you go back to the good teams, and it's been this way in the SEC and the Southwest Conference too. There are always players from northeast Texas that are on that roster from places like Atlanta and all the way up to the Texas side of Texarkana, all the way down to past Louisville on into the Metroplex and those areas down in there. I mean, there are a lot of players. And Arkansas, when they've done well, they've gotten their share from down there, and it's a critical area.
Yeah, I thought the things he said earlier, specifically about Talon's leadership and setting the tone with the example of his work. I mean, I still think it's hard for leaders to establish themselves or identify themselves when you have so much roster turnover, and I think your quarterback has to be one of your leaders. If he's not, then there's probably a disconnect.
Well, he has to be the leader.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to be his team if you're going to be really good. The one thing that I think we have to remember about Talon is he's not a true freshman. I mean, he's, the last time, it's been a while since he's played high school football, I guess is what I'm saying. He's been to Boise State. He's been through the wars. And, you're getting a much more polished football player than you would be getting if his only experience was as a high schooler.
All right, we're 17 days away from the first game. Won't be long after that till you go to Fayetteville for your first tailgate. Make sure you put Sassy's in your phone to be the place that you order your Razor Packs, getting ready for game days. Maybe that first game on Thursday night, if you're not making it to War Memorial Stadium, you could take home some great barbecue and those award-winning smoked wings from Sassy's for your watch party that evening, or just any event that you got. You know, football's worth celebrating, and Sassy's is the place to do it. 2 locations in Fayetteville, the original Red House on College, also Sassy's Barbecue and Grill. They're just off the Weddington exit on Steamboat Drive. Eat, drink, and be sassy. It's Sassy's Barbecue in Fayetteville.
All right, when we return, we're going to talk some more Arkansas football, some of the things that were shared the last couple of days, including Rodney Hill, new Arkansas running back, had a bad agent that apparently caused some turmoil for him and his family. We'll touch on that and more. Hour 2 continues on the Morning Rush.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG. Bring your own guts.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-731-4558 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as 1 day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
This is the Morning Rush.
Childs, please! Touchdown!
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardy's Original Bag.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar.
Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Conneray Drive into Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your...
And may God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Check out Nate and Christian's place in Lowell online at cartpathsocial.com. Cartpath Social, the getting out of the sun, making golfing fun.
All right, time for the Morning Rush Daily Question. It's back to school day for many. My kids go a week from today, so this Monday and next Monday, we are going to be back to school. What?
What's the rationale by starting a week later if you're Fort Smith Public Schools?
It varies depending on where you're at. On when it's I guess when you want to get out and when you want to take your other breaks. You got state mandated numbers of days you got to be in. So here's the question for you three this morning. Christian, you can jump in on this. You've been in school more recent than the rest of us. What's the best and worst part of your first day of going back to school?
For me, it was always getting up early.
Yeah, I'm with Chuck.
It was getting up. When I was that age, the one thing I do remember is that it was really hard to get up in the morning.
Yeah, when you're sleeping in till 10 or 11 o'clock during the summer, and then all of a sudden that 6:30 alarm hits for the first time. Now, I mean, I wake up at 3:30 now, but when you're a kid and you're worthless in terms of ambition and anything else, it's that alarm.
I think getting up early is the worst part. I think the other worst part is the pressure of what you wear on the first day of school. I see this in my house. It never was a big deal to me that I remember. But, man, having that day one.
Was it Teddy's?
Fit, as they call it now.
And it's amazing what a clothes horse you've become as an adult, to not care about your wardrobe when you were young.
Well, this doesn't just happen by itself, Chuck.
I understand. But, clearly the worm turned.
Yeah, at some point, my mother's genes kicked in. Yes.
I was.
But I see it with my kids now, the pressure to have the right shoes, to have the right everything on day one. Day one especially.
Finding your classroom, too. Finding the classrooms. There's like a million.
My dad made us go days early, Christian, to make sure that we knew.
See, we got open house 2 times this week at 2 different schools, one for the daughter, one for the son. And then he's got to go for 4 hours because it's his first year to move to the freshman center. So he's got to go Thursday
Big dog.
and do the whole walkthrough thing,
Okay.
So
I think that the best part is just seeing your friends that you hadn't seen all summer. Like we had our 10-year reunion last year that I missed. I was actually talking to a friend about it this weekend. She's going
had
her
our 30-year last weekend.
Little different, but it's just a circumstance. Like some friends you keep up with this summer, but you have that 2 or 3 months where you don't see them every day, and then you see them for the first time, and you hug them. The girl that that wasn't that cute the year before, all of a sudden transition, got a lot cuter, and you're just like, whoa. So there's a lot of good things that happen when you go to school for the first time in 3 months or whatever it is. It's 3 months, right? Is that what you get summer-wise?
I don't think it's that long anymore.
It's not even that long
about
anymore.
10 weeks, yeah. So
Yeah, but they get fall breaks and, full moon holidays and stuff like that. I mean, it's cloudy today. Let's take the day off. It's a little different now than it used to be.
I remember when you only got Thursday and Friday of Thanksgiving week. Now they get the whole week. They get the whole week.
Let's see. Matt says the worst was the heat of football practice after school. That was what he did not like. Kevin at Lake Hamilton says that Hot Springs started school 2 weeks ago.
Hot Springs High did, yeah. But they're on that year-round calendar. I don't know how well I'd like that. They begin a year-round calendar this year.
Ugh. Weston Harrison says, to your point, Tommy, try having a blended family with 5 girls and 2 boys and pick out their first day of clothes. 7 kids in the house.
I think that's the worst part.
Man, that is a lot of kids. The best part is seeing Matt says that also the best part was seeing the new girls that transferred into high school that year, middle school.
The transfer portal?
Yeah, the transfer portal.
Years ago.
Which is part of it. It's a good question.
All right, back to school themed. What is the best and worst part of back to school day? We'll talk more about that. Not everybody's back in today, but I know that just watching the weather this morning on the local news, that was a big part of the reporting was back to school, slow down in the school zones, all those things. And it's a kind of a wet, nasty one. Never a good day to have your first day of fighting your way through the traffic line on a wet weather day. All right, your Morning Rush Daily question. Ty, it's brought to you by CartPath Social.
Yep, and CartPath Social is having their launch party coming up. It's the same weekend as the Arkansas Razorbacks first game, the 29th through the 31st. They're going to have their ribbon cutting at 4 p.m. With the Rogers Lowell Chamber of Commerce. On 30th, they're doing a scramble tournament, and then that Sunday is the launch party on the Saturday is the launch party. So if you have not checked out CartPath Social, CartPathSocial.com, more details coming out on their social media. Again, CartPathSocial.com.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. Schedule your service appointment today at GoPascal.com.
So you mentioned coming back to school. For some, it'll be a new experience. For others, it'll be one that they've experienced at the same school. Arkansas
U of A's next Monday, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Arkansas has several new players that have entered the transfer portal and been added. Others have exited. One of those players being running back Rodney Hill, who has spent time at both Florida State and Florida A&M. He shared an interesting story about an agent mishap that he had to deal with. I thought it was of kind of interest. Take a listen to one of Arkansas's running backs and kind of what happened to him in Tallahassee.
That situation, not many people know, but my parents was running my money and stuff like that. And my parents got a bad agent, and he was texting other schools like he was me. So when they got back to the head coach, I had to leave Florida State. And during that time when I had to leave, I wasn't trying to leave. I didn't want to leave, so I just had to. And the portal was closing up, so Florida A&M was next door. So I just had to go there for a month. Yeah. Find a new place.
I know in the National Football League, agents have to be certified by the league. I don't think that same rule applies from college, from what I read. There are more cases like this. He made public for the first time this weekend, but guys, I think there's a lot more cases out here like this that just aren't necessarily publicly shared when it comes to unfortunate events like occurred for Rodney Hill, apparently.
And there's a gold rush, and that's what we have right now is a gold rush in college sports.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be bad actors. There's going to be people that try to commit fraud on others, and this isn't going to be the only story where this is the theme. I mean, you can look across the history of our nation, Chuck, and there's always going to be times when there's a gold rush, and that's what I call this. People are trying to exploit others.
Yes, and everyone's just got to do their due diligence. And I know that sounds simple, and it's not simple. It's hard to perform your due diligence sometimes, particularly when you have no background in that sort of thing, other than you've just been to watch your kid play and you're rooting for him with all your heart. So, yeah, there are a lot of people out there that unfortunately do that. I don't know the ins and outs of his situation, but I'll bet he's glad to be here and anxious to see him play.
And he kind of provided an interesting update after that. He kind of gave the advice, don't hire an agent.
And just really, in my perspective, like, I know it's your parents and stuff like that, but sometimes you got to handle it on your own. Sometimes, like, with my parents, I know they was trying to do the best thing for me, but, you know, sometimes you got to take that with your own, like, you got to do it yourself. But to other kids, I just say, you don't got to get an agent right now. Just wait.
I know it was a big thing for Lamar Jackson, who had, at one time did not have an agent, was kind of doing it. Him and his family were kind of working on that. But I thought that was kind of an interesting part of all this, where he felt slighted by what happened in his life, and kind of gave that advice for college kids that are just experiencing NIL for the first time.
You need someone on your side of the table who's smart, whether they're an agent, whether they're a relative, whoever. You need someone, and by smart, I mean someone who's got some business sense, someone who understands market value. But the most important thing is probably that they put the young person's best interest in their heart. If it's not there, if they're in it for the money, you know, understand what you're getting into. And I think that's what makes it difficult for a lot of them, is who they get their advice from.
I had a chance to spend some time with a guy who's representing a professional player. He's now a professional player from Arkansas, but didn't play for the Razorbacks. And one of the things that, you know, there's layers to this with agents and different people that are trying to represent different interests of their own. And basically it was described as a world of kickbacks. Hey, you bring me a deal, I'm going to give you $100,000 for bringing the deal. But who ends up paying for that?
The kid.
The kid and his family. And this guy's not an agent at all. He's just a financial advisor helping this family out, and he only charges, you know, regular standard fees that a financial advisor would charge you. But he said it's a real sad thing to watch a lot of these families go through it, where you got multiple hands dipping into the pot to help each other out, and in the end, that family thinks they're getting a great deal, but in the end, they're paying for all these fees that get added on, and these kickbacks, if you will.
Well, I think Chuck said it best right there. I mean, you got to have someone you trust. I've never been in a situation where I've had umpteen $1 million. My friend who I've known for 10 plus years handles my money, and I trust him with my life. And I always joke with him, is like, you better not Enron me, you SOB. And like, it's just one of those things where when money gets involved with anyone's life, it sometimes gets a little hairy at times. And if you don't know someone as well as I guess the Hill family knew with theirs, sometimes people double cross you or stab a knife in your back. And again, I don't know the particulars of this situation. It just didn't sound like it was handled well or how they wanted to go.
I think the one thing that's pretty safe to say in all this, and you know, we are speculating to a degree, is that the vast majority of us don't really understand what's going on behind the curtain sometimes when it comes to what seems like an NIL jackpot. For some kids, it is. For some kids, that money literally becomes the root of all evil. And so there are, I'm not knocking NIL by any stretch, but again, you must do your due diligence, and that's a lot easier said than done. Hey, I want to talk about Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric just for a moment before we move on. This is, you know, one of the things I like about them, and I'll just talk about this for a minute. You know, they're a traditional company. They've been around. If you're in Northwest Arkansas, for example, you've heard of Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric for 50 years. But you look at that company now, it is state-of-the-art in everything they do, from their facilities to the way they come out and service your particular situation, whether it's air, plumbing, or electric. That's the one thing that's so noticeable. Charlie Boyce is he's set his roots down in that company now, and it really mirrors him. And it's this way all across the building. And my experience with them has been great, and I think yours will be too. Now, they can schedule you an appointment at gopascal.com. It's professional people, professional service, Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric.
So, staying on the subject of running backs, coming more what's going on this upcoming season, you've got a new running backs coach in Colby Smith, who played at Louisville under Coach Petrino, is also a coach for him as well. And he joked, he was asked, hey, who's really standing out as the most violent running back in the room? And he had some fun with his guys.
Probably me when I turned the film on of my old clips.
This was a guy that had over 1,800 yards as a Louisville Cardinal. I think double-digit touchdowns. Yeah, 18 touchdowns, if I remember right. And, again, Jaquindon Jackson, Rodney Hill, we're talking all things Arkansas fall camp, scrimmage and everything. Jaquindon was held out due to an ankle injury. But when they asked him about that, it's like, hey, what do you think about your coach saying this? They had some fun with their position coach, too.
I ain't seen no tape.
No tape at all.
Until he showed us some tape, I don't believe it.
No tape.
we be in meetings like, bro, cut on the tape, let me see it. Like, come on.
Never have it.
Don't got no film, no nothing, so I don't believe it.
So, Chuck, one of the things that Coach Smith expanded on and was asked about is he really likes his running back room because they're all different. Like, Hill is different than Jaquindon Jackson, Braylon Russell. I mean, you've got several types of backs. When you go back to the Petrino years, when you had Niall Davis and Broderick Green and Ronnie Wingo and Dennis Johnson, they weren't exactly the same looking guys. And again, not the most talented, not as talented as maybe they were 10 plus years ago, but definitely kind of different arsenals for each player that he can utilize to what he thinks best fits plays and sets throughout a game.
Well, the common denominator then, and the thing that must be the common denominator now, is toughness. I mean, you got to be tough to play that spot. Some of the guys you ripped off there from the Petrino era from 10 or so years ago, those were tough running backs, and Arkansas threw the ball a lot then. They threw the ball to build the lead and ran the ball to win the game, and they did that a lot during his era. And but they were all tough runners. They got yards after contact, and that's one of the things that, if you're going to run the ball well, and Pittman said we got to run the ball well. Mm-hmm. We've tended to focus a lot of our conversation about that on the offensive line, and certainly they've got to be good, but you got to have some tough guys back there. And one of the guys, and Gums would be the other, just for the record, but one of the guys that I really am interested to see what he brings to the table is Jackson, the kid from Utah. He's a guy that it sounds like, if he can hang on to the ball, which is always the key for any running back. If he doesn't fumble, it sounds like he's a guy he can catch balls, run with it, break some tackles. Sounds like he's a good player.
R-Dub is the returnee from last year, but I was talking with Tommy about this earlier. You think about, your main two skill players and quarterback and running back, they're new this year. You kind of got used to Rocket and KJ. I know Rocket was injured a good chunk of last season, but your two arguably the biggest pieces on offense are new. And I know Talon kind of took over the starting role relatively recent into spring, or relatively quickly, I should say, into spring. It sounds like Jaquindon locked up that starting running back role pretty early on too. At least that's what it sounds like and it looks like. Guys.
Well, they didn't bring Jaquindon Jackson in here not to play.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a portal guy and a good one. I mean, they brought him in here to hand him the football.
Yeah, and when you look at this team, I mean, the names have changed, and with Rocket leaving, coming off the injury season, who can establish themselves? I don't want to say household name, but who's going to be the name when you talk about the running backs? And I think that's an intriguing part of this offense that I don't think it's just as simple to throw Jackson's name out. I think there's going to be a little bit of a battle there.
Well, you've got, again, Jackson, Dabinion. You've heard Braylon Russell because he's the in-state kid, Rodney Hill, and then there's one other one that I'm blanking on that they brought in. I think it's Tyreek something, but that's, again, several guys just right then and there that are going to be battling for carries. And that is we were talking about depth earlier. I think that Coach Smith and Coach Petrino, Coach Pittman like where they're at the running back position, but hopefully Jaquindon's ankle holds up because I know he was dealing with that last year, Chuck.
Well, they got a lot of prospects, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. And as we've seen before, you're not gonna make it through a game with just one or two running backs, much less a season. So you better have a bunch of them ready to play.
Yeah, we'll see who establishes themselves as the feature back. Hog update coming up on a Hot Take Monday, brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Award-winning service from Chris and Lee J and their entire crew. You'll find them, again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV. A lot of headlines from the Olympic Games, medal counts, and more coming up in that Hog update. We'll get to that and more important stuff coming up in the 8 o'clock hour as we got some more guests lined up to join us then as well. We're brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort, one of these, I don't want to say cold weekends because it certainly wasn't cold, but it was a refreshingly nice weekend. Great time to be on the White River, and I know we all enjoyed the kind of the reprieve from summer this last weekend. Makes me think about fall fishing. And now is the time to start thinking about those late September and October and early November weekends, which are prime time, I think, to be on the White River and to be at Gaston's. Just cool enough in the evenings maybe to crank up a fire in your fireplace or at their fire pit. Perfect during the day to fish in comfort on the White River with one of their expert guides, and always a great time to hang out in their restaurant that overlooks the White River. Hey, think about one of those weekends, maybe a bye date for the Razorbacks or an out-of-town game, and head to Gaston's White River Resort, 870-431-5202. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is the Morning Rush.
This is the game that they're saying national championship. And we're floating in a sea of red.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal Price Check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
When I go out to eat, I want something fresh. I don't want something that's been sitting in a freezer or processed. When I go to Lily Sandwich Shop, I am satisfied to the max. That's because Josefa makes everything fresh and uses that River Valley farm fresh produce.
This video is powered by the pros at Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappy.
Nice speck.
We got trophies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Conneray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video.
SX8R. New 2024 model Polaris slingshots, including the Roush edition, are now in stock. Check us out online at WheelerPowersports.com or stop by and see us at downtown Fort Smith at 901 North 11th Street. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hoghats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
So we know Taylor Green is going to have the headset for Arkansas football and offense, but the question was, who's probably going to handle it on defense? Sounds like Xavier Sorey, who we heard from this past weekend, is going to handle on the defensive duties, according to Coach Pittman.
We haven't found, to be perfectly honest with you, that the communication, because we're signaling everything, or he's going to have to signal on defense, we haven't found that communication is necessarily a plus for us defensively. Offensively, it certainly is, and we've tried it, but that would be the Mike linebacker. It would be, or Sorey would have it on.
So I thought that was interesting, Coach kind of mentioning how it's going to be a lot more useful on offense than defense. And you think about how quick offenses moves now, that makes sense.
But when they sideline signaled the play in, and they had decoys and they had the real deal over there, but all 11 could turn and see the signal. Now somehow the quarterback's got to figure out how to verbally communicate that. And, the idea is great in the NFL where you still huddle up quite a bit and can verbally communicate it. Does huddles come back more? Does the tempo slow down? I'm interested to see that. Yeah, it eliminates the signaling from the sideline, but Chuck, it really changes the operation of down in, down out communication.
It certainly could. That's a good point, and we're going to have to see how they handle that, because, and I think about situations on the road. Mm-hmm. Now, you may see a combination of a lot of things. I mean, the bottom line is the reason you use it is obviously to make communication with the quarterback easier, but you also want to, theoretically, it helps with communication with everybody.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily mean that relying on that every time. I mean, you're not required to. It's just a tool. So I'm sure they'll figure out a way. But, yeah, I mean, that's that'll be something to watch. That's the game within the game.
Play
or
caller
one of the
to,
games
yeah.
within the game.
Mm-hmm.
Play caller to QB solved, but QB to the other 10 isn't solved. They may go back to old school where, hey, you grab the wide receiver, you're rotating out, the coach whispers
Grab
in
him
his
by
ear.
the face mask and then push him out there on the
Pats
field with
him
the
on the
flag.
butt, and off he goes to the huddle.
Speaking of that, I don't know if y'all saw the video clip that made its way to social media. The Hoover High School coach that has since been let go, if I remember.
A couple of them.
Yeah. You had one coach that ripped a kid's helmet off that was caught on film in practice. That was, I feel like, an everyday occurrence 40 years ago. And then another assistant was, after a kid got basically mashed in a pancake drill, was basically humping his own player and teabagging him. So it was it's one of those things Hoover's having to deal with their school system right now. There's a lot of unhappy
They have
parents.
some cultural issues there.
Again, I know for a lot of you listening, I mean, a coach grabbing your face mask, I don't know about yanking it off.
Well, sometimes we make ourselves out to be a lot tougher, and we make our old practices out to be a lot more rugged than they really were. I have to admit, I don't. I watched the video, and neither one of those guys need to be coaching high school football.
Yeah, and so that's what's going on in Hoover, Alabama right now. All right, continuing on with your Hog update this morning. Guys, I think it totaled 14 medals for Hogs, former Razorbacks, current Razorbacks, and then I guess ones that trained in Fayetteville, 7 golds, 4 silvers, and 3 bronze, most notably track and field. But I mean, that's quite a medal count for – I know Arkansas is the premier track and field program in the country, but 14 total is pretty outstanding for not just, again, people who participated and competed for the United States, but several other countries too.
Well, when you are the preeminent track program in the collegiate ranks in the United States, it stands to reason your program is going to be well represented when the Olympics roll around every 4 years, not just the United States, as you mentioned, but other countries as well. And I don't see that. We were talking a little bit earlier about what might happen in basketball down the road. I sure don't see a time where there aren't going to be Arkansas Razorback track athletes representing their countries in the Olympic Games, because it's been that way, all the way back as far as I can remember, certainly back to 84 and 80 and probably 76 too, if we were to go back and really take a look at it. So I would think that would continue.
Yeah, it's on a great pace, and it is going to continue. Also, congratulations to a couple golfers for Arkansas. You've got Maria Jose Marine and then Kendall Todd, who made it to the semifinals of the U.S. Women's Amateur. That's didn't take place too far from here in Southern Hills and Tulsa. And then the men's amateur gets going today. There's 5 Razorbacks, 2 current, and Thomas Curry and John Naley Jr. You've got 2 incoming freshmen in Gerardo Gomez and Eric Fortledge, and then also Segundo Olivia Pinto, who used to be a Razorback, all at Hazel. And I said it. I asked you earlier. Hazeltine. I butcher that every time. At Hazeltine up there in Minnesota. So they will be going today and tomorrow, and then we'll see if they make it through I think it's the match play format today and tomorrow. We'll see if they make it past that stretch.
Yeah, and for some, you're watching the U.S. Women's Amateur that was over at Southern Hills this last weekend. The Razorbacks with 2 players in the Women's Amateur that made it to the semifinals. But, Chuck, that's, of course, you and I got to see a couple years ago when the PGA was over there, and just one of the great golf courses in the South.
It is. And I don't know when they're going to host another PGA event. I haven't looked at the calendar. But, it'll be it hosts great golf events.
Mm-hmm.
Last thing here, Luke has been named to the Mackey Award watch list given to the best tight end in college football, a trophy that both DJ Williams and Hunter Henry took home. I don't know if necessarily Luke has much of a chance to win this year, but definitely in his junior season, I think he has a better opportunity. All right, that is your Hog Update this morning. It is brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right. We've got college football coming up here, 17 days out from the Arkansas Razorbacks playing against UAPB. ESPN has since released the college football theme of the season. Do you listen to Jelly Roll at all? I'm not a Jelly Roll fan, but they've released their theme for this season. Give me a rating in about 30 seconds.
The most electrifying thing.
Welcome to a new era of college football.
friends I see here just to watch it burn. If you've seen all the hell I seen, it make your stomach turn. I think you.
Wow, so far about it.
Introduce the next head football coach.
We got a potential super.
I didn't like it.
Well, you got to see the video that goes with it. I mean, you got to see the whole package, I would think, whether or not it's going to, all tie together. It's different.
You'll hear it 100 times this season during the course of watching games on ESPN Arkansas and whatever, but my initial thoughts is I was not a fan of it.
Everything's got to be country rock now, man. That's the end. Everything's got to be country rock.
Yeah, that's the hot deal. Hey, we're brought to you by the Fence Man, the company we trust when it comes to building fences and gates and powered automatic gates and controlled access systems. The Fence Man can handle small residential projects and repairs all the way up to government and big-time installations around your home, your business, or an industrial complex. 782-3936. Call the Fence Man. He'll be on his way for a quote. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
All right, when we return, we're going to talk with Kyle Yeomans, who had a chance to catch up with Jerry Jones recently. DallasCowboys.com. And I know a lot of questions on CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, and Micah Parsons. We'll try and answer those when we return.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Work now, pay later with sizzling savings at WT Equipment. No money down, no interest, and no payments until 2025 on select New Holland equipment. Choose 0 for 60 or up to 10,000 cash back plus free net wrap on roll belt round balers. 0 for 72 or up to 10,000 cash back on mid-range tractors, or 0 for 72 plus an additional 2,000 cash back on a new compact. Work smarter with no money down, no interest, and no payments on your choice of the summer's hottest deals at WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is The Morning Rush.
Stop by the Golf Nut today and check out the full line of lab putters featuring Lie-Angle balanced technology. Lab putters were used by 14% of professionals in the 2024 Masters Tournament. All models of the new Scotty Cameron Phantom putters are in stock, including the longer 38-inch model. Come discover the biggest selection of name brand clubs, apparel, and accessories in the region. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue, your #1 golf shop for over 30 years.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle,
and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials. Tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street at Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, occasional showers, a few thunderstorms, especially across the north, and we could see some heavier rain, especially early today. Otherwise, partly to mostly sunny sky, a high mid-80s north, low 90s south. Clearing out the sky tonight, an overnight low near 70, and then a chance of isolated showers and storms Tuesday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. KERX Paris, Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 17 days.
Back to Curry, dancing on Batum, over the double team. Oh! It's a golden dagger! Night-night, Curry, unconscious in the fourth. 8 threes for Curry. He has sent the French crowd into a frenzy they will never forget.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Good morning, gentlemen. Let me rephrase that. You got 2 gentlemen. You got one ain't earned it yet, has he?
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's
All right, it's hour number 3 of the Morning Rush. What a performance from Stephen Curry this weekend, who was unbelievable, not only in the gold medal game against France, but also against Serbia. Helped the United States once again win the gold medal in men's basketball. Women's basketball also got it done against France. We'll talk about them coming up in just a bit. We're going to talk some Cowboys, and we hadn't heard from Brent in Searcy in a while. He's called in. So we got all that to get to in hour number 3.
Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands like Grand Design, Forest River, and Brinkley are all there. Lifetime warranties on every new RV they sell, so you can camp with confidence. Wheels RV, again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Sawyer's. Sunrooms, patio covers, pergolas, driveways, and windows, including decorative concrete. 100% financing available. No job too small or large. Everything for the outside of the house.
All right, let's welcome in our buddy Brent. Brent, it's been a few weeks, might be a month, man. Where you been?
Man, I just been trying to keep it between the ditches. I'm not going to lie to you. I've just been trying to keep it between the ditches, trying not to get too worked up over this football season, trying not to drink the Kool-Aid because I drink so many gallons of it for the past almost 30 years. I'm getting tired of drinking it and having to sit back and watch the last 2 years. So I hope it's better. Chuck, if you drank it, I know you drank it. You drank a big dose of it, hadn't you?
Well, I think we've all passed around the jug a time or two, yes.
All our teeth have been stained before Brent.
Hey, believe it or not, and I'm telling you the truth, I hadn't drank it. I'm gonna make this team prove to me there's something different than what we've been seeing the last 2 years.
So what do you want to see this year, Brent, out of curiosity before we let you go? What would your
Go
ahead.
Well, the biggest game of the year, they need to shut out UAPB no matter what, because if they let UAPB score a point, we're gonna have troubles. I think we need to. Oklahoma State's the biggest game of the year, and if we win that, we've got a chance. But we've got to win that game to have a really good year. We've got to beat Oklahoma State.
Well, they got 19 or 20 guys coming back, a 7-year quarterback and the best running back in college football. So it'll be a tall task for them. Brent, appreciate it, man. Good catching up. And I know we'll do plenty more of that before we get closer. Again, 17 days out from the UAPB game, which will be Arkansas's preseason game of sorts, which is what the Dallas Cowboys and other NFL teams are doing right now. Kyle Yeomans, DallasCowboys.com, Talking Cowboys podcast now joins us here on the Morning Rush. Kyle, appreciate you joining us, man. I know you had a chance to catch up with Jerry Jones recently, and some of his comments made that he clarified with you. Sedarius Lamb, his contract negotiation is a big deal right now in the National Football League for a lot of Cowboy fans listening. Just kind of what's the latest on that and possibly the other negotiations with Micah Parsons and Dak Prescott too?
Yeah, guys, thanks for having me. I think yesterday, like you said, Jerry did a nice job of turning those comments that he made earlier in the week around. If you listen to the full quote, he's talking about how contracts are different whenever there's players under contract and then a holdout happens, as opposed to talking to players that are outside of their contract. So with that being said, he really talked about how the numbers come together years ahead of time as opposed to years in the past or the upcoming year. And so he kind of went into he said he got himself in a little bit of trouble earlier in the week when he said there was no urgency to sign CeeDee Lamb. And I think in his initial quote, it sounded like he wasn't dishing on CeeDee Lamb, saying the Dallas Cowboys don't need CeeDee Lamb. He was mostly saying he was saying CeeDee Lamb doesn't need the Dallas Cowboys, just based on the fact that he's going to be ready. He still has a month until the season opener. He has plenty of time to ramp up, and he knows the offense. He doesn't need these extra reps. He's one of the best in the NFL, and he's not worried that CeeDee Lamb won't be ready when it matters most. What he was really saying is that he doesn't need to be out on the field right this second. He doesn't need the reps in Oxnard. He doesn't need to be there in terms of the preseason game. So every time that conversation comes up about Jerry and no urgency, it really is a moot point, because there is urgency to sign CD. Of course he wants him to get him signed so that way he's a Dallas Cowboy for an extended period of time. But there's no urgency right this second because he doesn't want him to get hurt in the preseason. There's no real need to put him on the practice field before he's ready. And he's going to need a ramp-up period later, but at the same time, he's been working out and getting things rolling. So definitely an interesting back and forth, but I think yesterday kind of finished off that conversation, at least for a little bit. And then once we get into the later parts of the preseason, and maybe even later this week in terms of the regular season, the training camp practices, maybe those contract talks will start to heat back up.
Kyle, you're obviously around it in a very close way. For the rest of us from the outside looking in, Cowboy fans really wonder about long term. Is Dak Prescott going to be the quarterback? What's your read on this? Is it there's obviously a lot of speculation about whether or not he's going to be the quarterback long term, but just what's your take on that?
I think just from being, like you said, being in that locker room and being around this team, there's such a high level of respect for Dak between the front office and the players and the coaching staff and even the media around this team. I mean, Dak is the ultimate leader. And I know from the outside looking in, you look at what he's done in the postseason, and it hasn't necessarily come to fruition. But, I mean, look outside of Patrick Mahomes right now in the NFL and find me a quarterback who has a favorable postseason record. That's not to give an excuse to Dak. That's not to throw everything else out the window. But, I mean, he was second in MVP voting last year, and he's a leader on your football team more so than maybe some of the guys that you've had in the past. I mean, I talked to a guy a couple days ago who has been with the organization over 25 years, and he told me Dak Prescott is the best leader that he's ever seen in any sport, anything that he's covered, and especially around the Dallas Cowboys. He said he's the best leader. So with all of those elements, I mean, the fact that he's playing better, the fact that he takes care of the football like he did in 2023, he was second in MVP voting, and then you tack on the leadership ability. I don't think there's a way they let him walk. And I know the money is interesting just because at some point you're going to have to make a move if postseason success isn't necessarily there. I don't think Dak is that move. I think they're going to get it done. I think he's going to be a Cowboy for maybe an extended period of time. I don't want to necessarily say for life because we've seen it before where even some of the best players in Cowboys history will go off and play a season or two with another franchise. I just don't see a world where in 2025 and 2026, Dak Prescott isn't wearing a star on the side of his helmet. I just think he's too ingrained in this organization for them to have any legitimate reason to let him walk.
Kyle, you mentioned Oxnard earlier. What's training camp like out there?
Well, I mean, right now it's a little early. I mean, the sun's just now coming up out here on the West Coast, and the good thing about it is, I mean, I'm looking down at my watch, and it's 61 degrees this morning, and so that's the biggest thing about Oxnard. That's the biggest thing about the West Coast is the fact that you have just the unbelievable weather, and they're going to get some great work in today on 2 natural grass fields, or maybe not today, but tomorrow. They've got the day off today following the preseason game. But tomorrow they get back to work on the natural grass fields. It's all such a close-knit environment. There's basically a residence inn that is building by building, room by room, that takes up this big campus in Oxnard that it's right next to the practice field. So from the furthest point of the camp, which is the cafeteria where players and staff are fed, from the furthest point to the practice field, which is the opposite point, the longest walk you could possibly have is about 3.5 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So the convenience of being in this camp and being around this environment is phenomenal. And then, of course, in between you have the buildings for the meeting spaces. You have coaches' rooms, you have coaching offices that players have full access to whenever they want it. So the meetings, the rooms, and then the actual cafeteria and field all within those 3.5 minutes. I just don't see a better setup in terms of training camp and the way they're able to get this work in.
Kyle Yeomans is again our guest, Talking Cowboys podcast, DallasCowboys.com, does a lot of pre and post game stuff for there. Kyle, I know that Jerry's often asked about his Dallas Cowboys, but you're around him enough to know that he has a love and admiration for his college, the Arkansas Razorbacks. What can you maybe tell us on some insight on how much Jerry cherishes the Arkansas Razorbacks?
It's funny. We were even having the conversation last week with Jerry, and he was talking about the new era of the SEC, and you could hear just how excited he was to have some almost Southwest Conference rivalries back in the fold, right, with Texas and Oklahoma, and having them. I mean, I know Oklahoma was never in the Southwest Conference, but just to have that old feel, that old rivalry between those two again. He's so excited about it, and he's always an Arkansas Razorback, man. He through and through, he bleeds the red, he bleeds the white, and he. It's funny because we also were talking about how it hasn't really turned into Razorbacks becoming Cowboys. It just hasn't necessarily come to fruition outside of a couple draft picks over the last 20 years. Just the fact that the Razorbacks have had so many NFL prospects and these guys that have come to the league and had some success, and the Cowboys only have 2 or 3 to actually have under their belt is really interesting, just because of how much Jerry does love Arkansas. And I mean, his family's out there. I know there's a lot of excitement around the SEC schedule this year and what you guys are going to bring to the table there too.
I know people are excited about the Texas game, as Jerry Jones is probably as well. Well, Kyle, it's 6 o'clock there, so we appreciate you waking up early with us this morning and giving us an insight on kind of what's going on with the Dallas Cowboys in training camp right now.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Thanks for having me. We'll talk soon.
61 degrees, guys. Doesn't sound too bad at all to be out
It
there.
wasn't bad around here yesterday. It's not bad this morning.
No.
Not bad this morning. I guess it's going to be a little warmer later.
48 hours.
Yeah.
3.5.
Sounds like it's going to warm up a little bit.
Chuck, I heard you chuckle when we mentioned the 3.5 minute walk. That sounds like a pretty cool event. You've spoken, I think, before about like Cardinals training camp and stuff, and I'm forgetting the location of that, but I know
Jupiter.
Yeah, Jupiter, and that just sounds like something that fans. There are probably some Dallas Cowboy fans either based in California or maybe they make their way out that attend that. That would be pretty fun and entertaining.
Oh, I'm sure people there enjoy it. I would imagine you've got a lot of retirees parking cars, and kind of like it is in spring training out in Arizona and in Florida. So yeah, I'm sure they look forward to that every year.
Yeah, they like that cooler weather, but it'll be warmer when they open the air. But so many of these stadiums anymore, including their home field, are indoors. They played yesterday against the Rams inside, so. I mean, you just wonder how many, we talk about the heat, but, with all these modern facilities, how many games are actually played in the heat in the NFL anymore?
Not as many, that's for sure. And they're not, you don't see all the snow games like you used to. A lot of the northern locales have domes now, and that's, creature comforts. That's people say, well, the players are softer now, and maybe as a result they are. But all this is fueled by the fact that we as consumers love our creature comforts. Mm-hmm. And I got to be honest with you guys, I'm not sure there's a single team out there or a single game out there I would sit in the snow to go watch. And, you think about a lot of these NFL teams that are in the northern locations. I mean, they play snow games from the middle of November on.
Yeah. Even Buffalo is going the more modern route with Orchard Park has been where they played for years, I think, and now they're even.
But they all have these heated fields.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they, unless it's snowing during the game, we rarely get treated to the blizzard conditions during the game where they have to sweep off the lines,
Chuck, what was it you used to tell us that you used to keep the press box doors open back in the day to take in the elements?
I've gone terribly soft over the years. I take advantage of field mics now.
Oh, man.
Hey, let me talk to you about Sawyer Sunrooms for just a second, guys. Your home is your biggest asset. And, I mean, when you want to have work done on your home, when you decide on a sunroom or a patio cover or a new driveway, new windows, you want somebody you can trust. Sawyer's has been part of our community for over 30 years now. They're insured, they're licensed, They've got 100% financing for all of their products, and you really can take all the worry out of your next project. Sawyer's been around, as we mentioned, for 30 years. Buzz Sawyer, those of you in the Fort Smith area, I know, very familiar with Buzz over the years. And you can call them and let them handle it, from the permitting right to completion. They're on Highway 71 South, or you can log on to sawyers-sunrooms.com.
So Kyle referred to the preseason game yesterday. Ended up being a pretty crazy ending. A name that you guys are familiar with, former quarterback for the Georgia Bulldogs, Stetson Bennett, got it done for the Los Angeles Rams.
4th down, 4th and goal to tie the game. This is it. Stetson Bennett. Oh, you have to rolling out to the left. Bennett slings it.
So it ended up tying the game. The Rams went on to win it. But, guys, again, preseason games are whatever sometimes. But that ended up actually being a really good game yesterday, even though it was low scoring.
Low scoring, defensive battle, field goals.
It was close. It wasn't a good game. It was close.
Agreed. Lots of interceptions in that game. So it was sloppy. But you thought the Cowboys could salt this one away, and they didn't. It was – down in the final play was
a 4th and goal.
And after, I think there's 4 seconds on the clock after that touchdown pass. So
here's the bottom line: the guys who are going to get cut by the Rams beat the guys who are going to get cut by the Cowboys. That's what happened in the fourth quarter yesterday.
Well, you had that happening. I do want to mention some former Razorbacks also participating in preseason games. Cam Little goes 3 for 4 this weekend.
Big part of the team is in the area that needs to be addressed. We'll see if Cam Little can really fill that void as a nails kicker from 40 yards in.
In his career at Arkansas, he was 83%. He was a very efficient kicker. This one, look at the leg. He drills it.
Guys, the only one he missed was a 60-some-odd yarder where he had plenty of leg. And I'm forgetting if it was wide left or right, but he had a good weekend. Jake Bates kicked his first preseason field goal for the Detroit Lions, and again, you're going to have 2 of your 32 teams represented by Arkansas Razorbacks.
You think about a place kicker. Preseason games really matter for place kickers. They may not matter as much for some guys, but if you're a kicker trying to make a club and, you miss a couple of field goals in a game, well, you pack up when you get back to the hotel because you're out of work tomorrow. And it is every moment's pressure filled for those guys.
Yeah, it's easy to measure. It's not subjective based on film. You either made it or you didn't make it. So
now they've got money invested in Cam.
Yes, they do.
So Cam can miss a 60-something yard field goal, and it's not going to hurt him.
Yeah.
But he misses a few from inside 40, and look out.
Evidently, Arkansas's kicker, as we come back here in Fayetteville, have fared much better this weekend. Coach Pittman mentioned that after, of course, Cam Little no longer in a Razorback uniform, was a little happier with the way things went in the scrimmage.
Man, 8 for 9 today from different places on the field, different. I'm so proud of those guys. I'm proud of Shipley now. I mean, he struggled, last year, not anytime, just in the scrimmages. But to come in there and hit a 51-yarder when the game's on the line today was big.
And that's, Chuck, you mentioned how important it is for guys that are trying to make an NFL roster. It's also important for these college kickers to do it in pressure-packed situations, which Coach mentioned they were a little shaky at times during the offseason, but it sounds like fared much better on Thursday than they had at some other points in the offseason.
It's an important position. It's one of those positions where if you're not good there, it's going to show. I mean, it's going to show at some point. It's obviously going to cost you points, might cost you a game, probably will. So, yeah, you need to be solid there. 8 of 9, though, you can win some ball games with that.
Hey, work now and pay later with the sizzling savings that are going on now at WT Equipment. There's a location near you. They're in Springdale, just off I-49 between the Don Tyson and the Johnson exits. You can find them there just off 48th, and there's other locations around the state. No money down, no interest, and no payments until 2025 on select New Holland equipment. You can choose from 0 for 60 months or up to $10,000 in cash back, plus a free net wrap roll belt round baler. Right now, you can choose that. 0 for 72 or up to $10,000 in cash back on mid-range tractors, or 0 for 72 plus an additional $2,000 cash back on new compact tractors. Work smarter with no money down. WT Equipment, your partner in progress. Go to WTEquip.com.
More of the Morning Rush coming up.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG. Bring your own guts.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The only local, family, and alumni-owned Razorback store.
Yep, our names are on Senior Walk, and we understand what that charging Razorback means.
From new students to season ticket holders, we have everything you need.
From floor coverings, wall art, game room items, and other stuff to decorate your home or dorm room.
To things for your pet or all sorts of clothing, we have it all.
We feature brands like Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, Columbia, and many, many others, all in the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
You know, your dad's side's starting to go viral.
Hey, what is that a new thing? Can I get a pill or a shot for that?
Anyway, you can call us at 479-STADIUM or 479-782-3486.
Or drop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium in Fayetteville. Or if you need to, you can shop us online at them Gram things.
Dad, let me do this. What he means is our website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go
Hogs.
This is the Morning Rush.
Arkansas, 80 yards.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal Price Check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. It's August, it's hot, and it's time to flip the lot. So we're giving you the best we've got. Save up to $6,000 on red tag clearance prices on a fantastic selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. Plus up to $2,000 extra for your trade and no payments for 90 days. They've all got to go, right down to the bare asphalt. Get a great deal on a great car now and help us flip the lot. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird Real Estate Group has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at limbirdteam.com. LIMBIRD.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
Hey, this is Dr. Charlie Liggett with River Valley Smile Center. We dial 782-8940.
Coach Todd Holland, head baseball coach of the University of Arkansas Fort Smith Lions. I call 782-8940.
Stay cool this summer with a York high-efficiency HVAC unit. Or for more information on endless hot water and high-efficiency tankless water heaters, give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
See, Ty, if you will make one of your bro friends' wives sleep on the couch or on an air mattress one weekend while you sleep in the master suite, you'll never have to deal with this again. I mean, you'll never have to be the planner. You'll never have to deal with this again. You're letting them take advantage of you. That's my point.
Speaking of the sleeping arrangements, guys, I am in the process of buying my buddy's sectional that has a fold-out queen-size mattress or whatever. So the house is starting to get furnished a little more and more.
Okay, so you're buying
a sectional that has the fold-out mattress.
Well, good. If Laura kicks me out, I'll have a place to go.
Yeah, exactly. So, or you can always hang out in the
pool house. Still available?
It is still available. You're welcome to rent it now. It is. It's going to be. It might have to go up.
You have to put up a deposit.
Yes, the deposit.
I have a deposit.
Yeah, non-refundable cleaning fee.
A deposit on the pool house?
Yeah, I'd waive it for you, Chuck, but
strict businessman.
But not for me.
Not for Tommy. I don't think.
Is there a pool?
To be determined.
No.
So it's a pool house without a pool?
Eventually, yeah. We just call it the pool
So
house.
you're using the term pool house loosely.
Loosely. There will be a pool.
It's like an outbuilding.
Yeah, there's going to be a
shed.
pool. So
Shed, in other words. If you want to rent, if you want to rent Ty's shed.
He'll move all the garden tools out so you can.
He'll move the lawnmower over to the
Yeah.
side.
Yeah. Hey, when it comes to time to spruce up your existing home or even build a brand new one, you can trust the experts at Farm Credit of Western Arkansas. They can help you choose the right financing option that's best for you. Go to myaglender.com or drop by any of Farm Credit of Western Arkansas's 25 locations today and get started on building more family memories.
I'll tell you, I'd let Paris Hilton and Cole Ritchie, if they need a place to stay in Arkansas for this Simple Life reboot, would it be happy to charge them rent free.
Deposit for them? They need it. No. How about rent?
They don't have to pay a thing. It's their presence is, as Chuck said earlier in the show, their presence is honor enough. They are welcome to stay in the pool house for free. Some of you have no idea what I'm talking about. The Simple Life is apparently getting a reboot here in Arkansas. 20 plus years ago, season 1 kicked off in 2003, and Nicole Ritchie, Paris Hilton, 2 divas that came here to Arkansas, and no cell phones, no credit cards, and experienced the Arkansas, the natural state way of life. And they also had some fun along the way, including
if they moved in your pool house, then there'd be 3 divas.
Correct.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because you calculate me 2.5, 3, whatever you want to say. But
3.5.
They had some fun along the way, including talking with some minor league players, and their interactions are pretty funny.
They were wanting to know where all the hot guys were, so
they're talking to them.
So we're gonna put them to work. Maybe let them shag a little bit, learn to play a little baseball.
Yeah.
Guys, this is Jamie Snodgrass. He's our trainer.
Nice to meet you.
I figured since we're out here, we'd let them shag a little bit, and then I don't know why they're laughing every time I say that.
I think I know.
So there's several occurrences and stuff like that. The stories that you referenced, that I was a youngster back in the day, but you said there were often stories and rumors that accompanied this show consistently.
Just about them making their appearances in the greater Fort Smith area, and
they drew a crowd.
I mean, and this was really well before the social media craze we live in today. So I can only imagine if a show of that nature then. And let's keep in mind they're 21 years older than they were then. But some of the things that went on the last time, it would have made for some interesting shares and reposts and
if
retweets.
there'd been Instagram then, these wouldn't just be rumors.
No, exactly right.
There'd be photographic evidence. I'm just trying to imagine if they stayed in Ty's pool house. Between Ty and those two ladies, the number of hair care products would just be staggering. There would be more product in those two houses than
that situation,
probably
not many
any other two houses in the world.
Yeah, there'd be the hair dryers and everything else that comes along with that. There would be a bunch of them. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm excited to see what comes of this. And again, that invitation is still open if they would like to stay in the pool house rent-free. So that's one of the local stories from this weekend. They were at Alligator Rays on Thursday. And that's an Altus, or is it Ozark? Altus. Okay, so that was
right on the square.
I gotcha. Cool. And I know that's your old stomping grounds back in the day. The national story.
That's where when you were growing up as a church-going young man in Clarksville, you'd slip away over there to the wrong side of the river. It's, where certain things happen.
Well, Altus is on the same side of the river. There's another little town over there that's people kind of drive to, I guess, for that.
So that was kind of a local fun story. A couple big national stories from the weekend. The Olympics concluded. Guys, I haven't asked you, what did you make of Tom Cruise in the Olympic? I'm going to go and put this in the background. What did you make of his rappelling down, getting ready for the LA Olympics?
Oh, I thought it fit right in with Snoop Dogg and everything else they've done to kind of Hollywood this thing up. So, Chuck, I can only imagine what in 4 years, with 4 years of planning, how Hollywooded up the Olympics will be when we see them in 2028.
Well, and they've already started the promotion.
Yeah.
That's Snoop Dogg, Tom Cruise, whole deal. Dr. Dre. I mean, they've already started the promotion, and it's, it'll be 4 years worth of it.
Are you interested? Does it interest you at all, since it will be on our soil, to go to L.A. to see any event?
Maybe so. I've thought about that.
I have too, because, how many chances in a lifetime do you get to reasonably go see the Olympic Games?
Here's my thing, and I'm going to sound very old man take-ish there. The traffic in L.A. is already horrible.
It's going to be a carless Olympics. Did you know that?
A carless Olympics?
A carless Olympics. Everyone that is going to be on the Olympic grounds will be required to take public transportation into the venue. There will be no cars at any of the Olympic venues, from what I read.
Hey, we're brought to you by River City Coatings in Van Buren. Whether it's a small project like I needed completed a week or two ago, or a larger scale project, River City Coatings can take care of it. What is powder coating? Well, it's not just painting something metal. It becomes actually part of the metal. It's not just a layer of paint. It becomes part of the metal that can withstand chemicals, abrasions, and a lot more. They've been doing this for more than 25 years, a wide variety of colors, and they can get it done fast. They had my project turned around in 1 day. Go to River City Coatings in Van Buren or go to rivercitycoatings.com. That's River City Coatings for all your powder coating needs.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Work now, pay later with sizzling savings at WT Equipment. No money down, no interest, and no payments until 2025 on select New Holland equipment. Choose 0 for 60 or up to 10,000 cash back plus free net wrap on roll belt round balers. 0 for 72 or up to 10,000 cash back on mid-range tractors, or 0 for 72 plus an additional 2,000 cash back on a new compact. Work smarter with no money down, no interest, and no payments on your choice of the summer's hottest deals at WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Somebody get him a plane ticket for New York City.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever?
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3930.
Spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel Crick Hopper.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Except we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
So Anthony Edwards, former Georgia Bulldog and the United States men's national team, defeated France on Saturday. Stephen Curry went ballistic down the stretch, and he was something.
Durant, back to Curry, dancing up a two, over the double team. Oh! It's a good golden dagger.
They, Tommy, I don't know if you saw this, but McDonald's is discontinuing their curry sauce for the next 4 years in France because of what Steph did. They called the French broadcast. I couldn't find a good. They were calling him the devil on the French broadcast because of what he was doing to the French national team. But Steph was unbelievable, and the United States got it done again. Curious to see if that run continues. I would think that continues in 2028 at home in Los Angeles. But maybe after that, France, other countries are catching up, and we'll see where the United States is in terms of the players that are going to be competing for the U.S.
Well, and that game in the end, they had the game with Serbia. They trailed 15, and then the gold medal game where they never trailed in a critical moment late. Led at halftime by, I think, 7 or 8. I watched most of the second half. It got down to 3, but you never really felt like, hey, the Americans are getting ready to lose this. You just didn't think one player was going to step up and make 4 shots like that to just salt it away. And Steph did what he did. He came in and came off the bench at that point and buried those 12 points, and that was it.
That was it. SEC trending in the direction of injury reports. Coach Pittman was asked about that, I think by Tom, who's going to join us in his usual time slot around 8:10 tomorrow, about, hey, Coach, are you still in favor of this? Maybe one Tom, but gets asked about it. Here's his response to injury reports seemingly coming to the Southeastern Conference.
Well, some of it is, you guys, if a kid's out, and you just say he's out. For me, if I say he's out and that's it, then sometimes, and y'all get frustrated with it because you want to know why he's out. Sometimes I don't want to tell you why he's out. And you understand what I'm saying. Sometimes it's disciplinary reasons. Sometimes it's a death in the family. There's sometimes, you know what I mean? And sometimes he's injured. You know what I mean? So to me, I'm for it because out is just out.
So he goes on a little bit longer there, but Tommy, that's coming unless there's a drastic change. We're going to have that. I think you and I are just curious on sorry, I lost my voice for a sec. If it's going to be a Wednesday thing, a day of game like the Big Ten did last year, when are we going to find out about not just players of Arkansas, but other SEC teams they'll compete against this fall?
Well, we still have the tiebreaker for football, do we?
Say that one more time.
Still don't have the tiebreaker that Greg Sankey spoke of at Media Days.
Yeah, that's another great. Yeah, great
so
point.
I mean, my point is, I think the administrators with the schools, the ADs, and the conference, they're still probably working together. You got to remember, you've only had Texas and OU fully on board for 6 weeks now, since 1st of July. Some of these decisions, they didn't have a vote to make until July, so they couldn't be decided back at Destin. So there's probably, I would imagine we're going to get a news dump one of these Fridays or one of these days towards the end of the day with, hey, here's 4, 5, 6 key things for the SEC. Injury reports may be one of them. The tiebreaker would be something else. And there's probably 2 or 3 other things we haven't even thought of that haven't come up in conversation. They're, got to get down to decide on that. The tiebreaker for football has to be put out, I would think, this week. I mean, that's got to go before the season begins.
Yeah. If not this week, next week, it's coming. It's just a matter of.
But it's kind of like Jerry Jones in that sense of urgency. I've got time to get around to it. Why do I need to do it today? The deadline's not till 3 weeks from now.
I thought Chuck was spot on earlier when he said, talking about Jerry Jones, if you missed us, Talk Cowboys, we had Kyle Yeomans on at the beginning of this hour. That'll be in our Bud Light Morning Rush podcast and also online in our YouTube channel at Hit That Line, and Tim just discussing there is a fan sense of urgency. There's no question about that, but Jerry doesn't feel like, at least from listening to Kyle and others, that it has to get it done right now. It's more the fan sits on that. All right, that is your SEC update here on a Hot Take Monday.
And it's brought to you by our friends at Arkansas Golf and Power Sports in Northwest Arkansas. They're also in Little Rock. If you're looking for a custom golf cart for your neighborhood or for your golf course, you can customize your very own with the friendly staff that you'll find at Arkansas Golf and Power Sports. They've got that friendly small business hospitality I always look for. Full custom service shop. They can service basically any make or model. So if you have one and you need some work done or you want to convert to lithium, off of the standard batteries. They can help you with that. They offer pickup and delivery, so if you don't have a trailer to get it from your house or your neighborhood or your golf course back to their shop, they can handle all of that turnkey for you as well. They even have street legal models, so they can put the turn signals on it. Most of the models come with headlights and taillights already, and then you can choose custom wheels, tires, seats, electronics, lifts, paint, fabrication, and charging ports, and a whole lot more. So stop in and see my buddies at Arkansas Golf and Power Sports in Fayetteville, just off the Garland exit at 2733 North McConnell, and find them online at arpowersports.com.
Christian, what did you think of Kyle's answer? You're the Cowboy fan of the show. What did you think to his response about Dak and his future here in Dallas? Or I say here in Dallas with the Cowboys organization.
I don't know that I totally agree that I don't see him being somewhere else. After this year, though, this is a big year for him. I know it seems like we always say that, but this year, I mean, he's got to prove something this year that he can win when it counts, because, I mean,
Still don't have a capable. I don't think Trey Lance is the capable backup. Do you? Think he's just kind of there?
And that's another point. I mean, if you're going to replace a guy like Dak, who's giving you stability and a lot of wins, you better have someone really good behind him that has that same kind of acumen behind him, because unless you're going to draft somebody, and I don't see that happening, the Cowboys will never tank, and they should never tank. That's not something the Cowboys should ever question.
Yeah. Well, that season is, again, quickly approaching as well. Since we're 17 days out from Arkansas football, we're 24 days, where the following Thursday, the Kansas City Chiefs will be hosting the Baltimore Ravens, which was the AFC Championship game last year. Speaking of quarterbacks, we had Louisville head football coach of the Fighting Farmers, who coached Taylor Green in high school, Coach Michael Odell, join us in the second hour. I thought his stuff on Taylor was pretty cool, Tommy, which will also be in the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. And the word that, listen, if you said you get paid every time this word is mentioned with a particular player, the word leadership has just been echoed from his high school coach, from Sam Pittman. Bobby Petrino talked about it, his teammates. That's the word that people always just keep coming. It's a buzzword when it comes to Taylor Green.
Well, and, in the end, leadership's great. You got to get, the quarterback has to get not just the 10 guys on the field, but the other 10 guys that are probably in backup and other roles on that offense to follow his word. You've got to have their undivided attention in the huddle or in a meeting room, and that's not done overnight. And I think what we were talking about earlier, you got to follow it up with action on the field. You become a leader because you're a good player generally. Not always, but generally.
Yeah.
And the quarterback has to be the leader of that offense, or it's just never really going to work.
And he needs a good offensive line in front of him, which was the main issue for the football team last year. You went a different direction in terms of the offensive line coach. Eric Mateos taking over. In fall camp lately, you've had some guys move around because of injury. Coach Mateo was asked about Patrick Kudus, who plays the right guard position, and kind of that shakeup it has for his offensive line. Here was his response to Kudus being out.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's caused issues. It's giving other guys opportunities to rep, and it's never a problem to have too many centers ready to play. I mean, what you're doing is you want to give different centers reps working with the one quarterback. And because the worst situation is starting center might go down in a game and you're looking at what is the TV camera always pan to, right? The backup center getting snaps with the first team quarterback. And so we're trying to make that a non-issue if it ever did happen.
I should say left guard, not right guard. But either way, that is he's dealing with a back issue. And you've had Wiggins slide over to center, and then Addison Nichols play a little guard in that place of that. Yeah, other guys have gone down. Blackstock was out for a little bit. I think Carmona was out for a little bit too. Tommy, I don't know the timeline of Kudus' injury, but it seemed like you had your 5 starters locked up, him being one of them, and
you may still have.
Yes, but when he comes back, you don't need him for UAPB, which you're a 52.5-point favorite. But
Coach said a week and a half when he made those comments last week. So I would expect come game week for sure. And really game week begins this Thursday, right? No, a week from this Thursday.
A week from this
Thursday.
Correct.
So if he's back and ready to practice and can withstand But I tell you what, some of these injuries also tell you is the physical nature of this camp to this point. But if he's back a week from Thursday, I'm not going to, no big deal. I think that's kind of the timeline Coach spoke to.
One of the things that was also spoken about was Eric Mateos and kind of what he did with Joshua Braun and the other offensive linemen. That the standard that you saw last year was not what Arkansas offensive lines typically are. Braun, who came over from Florida last season, part of that group that struggled, talked about one of the things Mateos made them do in the offseason. That's learned about kind of the history and heritage of Arkansas's offensive line.
Coach Mateos got here. He did a great job of instilling into us the Arkansas offensive line standard. We had a homework where we researched different offensive linemen that wore the same number as us, and that just showed us that in the past, the offensive line at Arkansas have been some of the best in the country, and that is the standard. And every day we go into practice trying to uphold that standard. And it's a show me, don't tell me world. So we got to perform on Saturdays, and we got to show the fans, we got to show y'all what we're made of. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. And so whether or not whatever happened last year, we didn't live up to the Arkansas standard, and that's the goal this year.
Now, right now, that's talk. Yeah. See if it's action come August, not even August 29th. It comes September the 7th. Yeah. That's when you'll see it in action one way or another.
Hot Take Monday, brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. See Lee J and Chris and their team today. The best selection, the best prices, and a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. That's our friends at Wheels RV. Again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
All right, so when we talk about announcements on the program, we don't mention them being big or monumental or crazy often, but we actually do have a pretty interesting venture that we're going to talk about tomorrow at 8 o'clock, and we'll make sure to tell others about it throughout the day and on our social media, but you've kind of got this thing corked up, and we'll tell people about it at 8 a.m. tomorrow.
We're cutting Ty's hair at 8 a.m. tomorrow.
It's much bigger than that, I promise.
Shears are coming into the studio tomorrow at 8, and he's getting a faux hawk.
It'd be news to me. Well, hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully that's not what we're actually talking. Yeah.
Big announcement tomorrow at 8 a.m. Be here tomorrow on the Morning Rush.
Can't wait. All right, that's going to do it for us here on Hot Take Monday. Talk to y'all at 6.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
This is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The only local, family, and alumni-owned Razorback store.
Yep, our names are on Senior Walk, and we understand what that charging Razorback means.
From new students to season ticket holders, we have everything you need.
From floor coverings, wall art, game room items, and other stuff to decorate your home or dorm room.
To things for your pet or all sorts of clothing, we have it all.
We feature brands like Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, Columbia, and many, many others, all in the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
You know, your dad's side's starting to go viral.
Hey, what is that a new thing? Can I get a pill or a shot for that?
Anyway, you can call us at 479 Stadium or 479-782-3486.
Or drop